Today, some of the best high school football players in the state will take the field at Central Michigan University. Some of them already have college commitments, and some battling for the opportunity to play college football based on their performance here. There are 88 top prep athletes who will be showcasing their skills. It's the 31st Annual High School Football All-Star Game, live from Central Michigan University.
Lofting downfield for Tippett, caught at the 45. What a great catch.
On a picture-perfect Saturday afternoon, 88 players from around the great state of Michigan get one last chance to showcase their football talents among the very best. It's the 31st Annual All-Star Game, and it kicks off for the first time ever here at CMU. Hi, everybody. Alongside my partner, former Lions tight end Rob Rubick, I'm Matt Shepard. We know where a lot of these kids will be playing this coming football fall, but why play in a game like this, partner?
I think it's threefold, Matt. Number one, it gives these young men an opportunity to play next to someone they've been rivals with for the past few years and will probably be rivals with in the near future. Yeah. Number two, a last-ditch effort. Some of these guys get on someone's radar. I think the third thing is it gives you a week of practice 6 weeks ahead before it really starts in August.
Stay with us. When we come back, we go down to the sidelines, welcoming the third member of our broadcast team, Rob Otto, and we get things kick-started from CMU. The Michigan High School All-Star Game is next.
Committee of the MHSFCA. Information at MHSFCA.com. The 31st Michigan High School Football All-Star Game is made possible by the UAW Center for Human Resources and General Motors, Meyer, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Sound Productions, and by these great sponsors. At MHSFCA.com, you can find information on scholarships, leadership awards, Hall of Fame membership, eligibility and recruiting information, and the Michigan High School football records. While you're there, check out the Hall of Fame with bios of past All-Stars. Information is also available for the 2012 Annual Professional Clinic held in Kalamazoo, January 19th through 21st. It's all at MHSFCA.com.
We've had the honor of broadcasting from Central Michigan University at Kelly Short Stadium here for the annual Michigan High School Football All-Star Game. And it'll be the East All-Stars who get the opportunity with the football first. Danelle Carithers and Rabia Beydoun are back deep for the East All-Stars, who are in white, and the West All-Stars are in red. Mitch Bredberg, the kicker from Grand Rapids West Catholic, will set to tee it up and kick it deep. Not just a very good football player, but also a classic pianist, believe it or not. Toured Italy recently as part of his experience there. And a guy who also won the National Combine Series field goal kicking competition and at the University of Wisconsin football camp. So a good right leg for number 14 in red. He's set to kick it deep. We'll hear from Rob Otto on the sidelines throughout our broadcast on this Saturday afternoon. Nearly a cloud in the sky and a perfect temperature with a slight breeze here at Kelly Short Stadium. The kick will be fielded by Beydoun. Beydoun stutter steps his way past the 20 and gets to about the 30-yard line for a 1st and 10 for the East All-Stars. A 22-yard gain. And here are the East All-Stars led by that man right there, the 6'2", 180-pound quarterback Keith Moore out of Cass Tech, who will play football next year or this coming fall at Saginaw Valley State, an All-American in the U.S. Army All-American camp. And a guy who actually originally was the starter, but Tommy Vento from Farmington Hills Harrison will take the first snap because he won the rock, paper, scissors competition between these two quarterbacks. Vento wears 11, and he'll put it up, and he'll go deep down the sideline, and it is incomplete, intended for Jason Wilson. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. First for the East All-Stars offensively, Keith Moore and Tommy Vento will both see an awful lot of time. The offensive line averages 6'4", 283 pounds. Three of them, Koch, And McGee and Bell will play at Saginaw Valley State this coming fall. And Wilson is their fastest wide receiver and has the best hands of the group. Second down and 10, and a give inside, and spinning around is Baydoun, and he is dropped there for a loss.
I think that was Ryan Hankins getting in there that time. What a nice job getting penetration, young man from Davison. You get a look at him along with a lot of his teammates here, Matt. And this is a crew that is not quite as highly as heralded as the East linebacking. But you look at these linebackers with Stenberg, Morgan, and Ignatov. They do a really good job, real solid. Talking to coach during the week, he has a lot of confidence in it, and behind him, they're no slouch either. And you have Leno and Horling, Curry, and Potts. We're going to see a pretty fast defense here.
Third down and long for Vento. Steps into a throw, and it is picked off at the 35-yard line by Dalton Stenberg, and inside the 20-yard line for the West All-Stars.
Now, we just talked about that linebacking crew, and Dalton Stenberger does what you like to see your linebackers. You know, he's heading to Toledo in the fall. This kid has all the tools you need. Watch this drop. He does a really good job getting into the flat area from his linebacker position. He was playing pass the entire way, which enabled him to get a quick read, Matt, get his depth, get in underneath that zone coverage, and get the interception, setting up the West with a short field.
Well, you talked about a good read and good depth, so very important traits for a linebacker. That allows Caleb Higbee, the first-team All-Stater out of DeWitt High School, under center for the West All-Stars. And he will throw the southpaw, sets up a screen in the middle, inside the 15 to about the 14 to Onaje Miller, Sexton High School's all-time leading rusher. A gain of 3 on the play for the West All-Stars, who are hoping to take advantage of the turnover forced by their outside linebacker Dalton Stenberg. So second down and 7 after a gain of 3 there. Higbee stumbled a little bit. Miller caught from behind. Might have picked up a couple. Linebacking core for the East All-Stars, as my partner Rob Rubick had mentioned. Justin D'Agostino, Mike Keith, and Loran Jabadou, all playing football at the next level at various schools, and all Catholic members as well. Third down and 5 for the West. Higbee will operate out of the gun in a 3-wide receiver set. And a quick timeout for the West All-Stars. Each coaching staff has 3 timeouts per half. And that's Pete Skirmahorn from Portage Northern, the head coach there. And we talk about the thrills, partner, for kids playing in a game like this. For the coaches, it's just as equal, isn't it? I mean, it's quite an honor and quite a thrill for them.
And you realize that the first opportunity you have to talk with them, you say, well, who stands out? Who jumps out at you here? And they say, well, they're all All-Stars. You know, it gives them a chance to really work with the young men that they get a couple maybe on their team over the course of a few years. Now they have, 24 to 30 of them working with every day throughout the course of the week. So they're pretty excited. So is Rob Otto pretty excited from what I hear. Rob, what do you got for us?
Well, Rob, you know what? It's great to be down here in the sideline. You're talking about the wonderful weather. It certainly was not that way all week long. They had to fight the mid-Michigan rain, but because of that, they're ready, they're geared up, and they're going to be out here playing this beautiful sunny day at CMU.
Third down and 5 for the West. Short snap, Higbee rolls. Now he'll tuck it and run and squeeze his way to about the 12. Well shy of the first down. They'll give him 2. And this should be a field goal situation, you would guess, for the West All-Stars. Unless, in a game like this, sometimes, Rob, they would just rather go for touchdowns than anything else.
Yeah,
but I think they might want some points here.
And the yards could be, you don't know if they're going to be difficult to come by, or if it's going to be a high-scoring game. So right now, if you had the opportunity, you're deep. We're going to try to run. They're going to clear both out here, Matt. Let's take a look. And then they're going to just run the angle underneath, but he gets caught up. That time, who was that? TK Kubernorum. He got caught up a little bit there, and he tried to get underneath it, but he got jammed, and a good job defensively.
So they will go for it on 4th down and 4. Caleb Higbee under center. Three-step drop and a quick hook route, and it's grabbed at about the 8-yard line, but I think it's shy.
It's going to be close.
Kuvaruno is the one who will hold it in.
Kuvaruno that time did a nice job of running his route, and he teach all your receivers you want to come back to the ball, but if you're going to do that, you got to make sure that you get a yard or two past, not to the sticks. You always hear, you got to get to the sticks. You actually have to get past the sticks, because he does a nice job catching in his hands, coming back to the ball. He ends up being very, very close. From our vantage point, it's difficult to tell.
Well, Kuvaruno's a really interesting story. He's from Zimbabwe. He's a native of Zimbabwe. Never played the game of football until his freshman year. And they did get enough for the first down. Barely enough. So they roll the dice, and Pete Skirmerhorn and the West All-Stars had it pay off for him. First and goal.
Now you're going to look at right here. You can look a little bit different look. It's an I set. We've seen a lot of one-back sets. It's the new wave of high school football. We saw the East come out in it, but the West come out with a little pro-eye power look.
On the ground to the fullback, barreling his way forward, Tyler Havens inside the 5. Havens from Morley Stanwood High School, where he played for Clark Hunty, and will go to Ferris State this fall. Big kid at 6'1", 240. So second down and goal from the 4 now, and an official's timeout on the field. West All-Stars knocking on the proverbial door. Second down and goal from the 4 after the turnover on the East All-Stars' first possession. Higbee gives to Miller. Looked like he fumbled it. He did fumble it. And it is recovered by the East defense. Firuz Yakubi, the defensive end from Dearborn Heights, recovered it.
Okay, let's pause it right here. We're going to get a down block, and then you're going to see the 2 backs go to the kick out. But it's purely a mishandle by Higbee that time, trying to get it to Miller. He never got the exchange, and Firuz was right there to jump on the ball, so good job defensively. But the play was there that was pretty well executed up front by the offensive line. It's one of those things you're going to see in a game like this. You're going to see few penalties and ball handling skills, especially with the mesh between the quarterback and the backs, because they had not worked together before this week.
So now the East takes over, and at the quarterback position is Keith Moore, who does a hard count and gets the West to jump off sides. 2 early turnovers for each defense. So it brings up first down and 5 for the East All-Stars. Good look right there at Damon Knox, the senior from Muskegon, who will go play at Michigan State. Good inside fake by Keith Moore, but the defense sniffed it out right away. No gain. Now, there are some rules and regulations each of these coaches must follow offensively and defensively. First for offense.
Well, you can see a total of 7 running plays, 10 pass plays. They give you a book of what plays you can run, so it makes it a little bit easier to prepare during the week. Only 1 draw, 3 trick plays allowed during the course of the game, so it's definitely pared down. But it also, I think, with defensively, it's also, we'll get to in a minute, is very much paired, so it creates some openings for the offense.
Second down and 5 for the East All-Stars. They give to the tailback, and boy, they do a nice job of stringing it out. That's Rabia Beydoun from Fordson. Now, you mentioned the offensive playbook and the limitations the offense has. The defense has the same. They can only show one front. There is no blitzing, right. But at the goal line, partner, just about anything goes.
And that's huge. When you can't blitz and you can't do any type of zone blitzing and mix your coverages up, you got to show them the same front. It makes it so much easier for that offensive line to pick up. You can't run any games. But goal line, as you said, Matt, that is where you're going to see some creativity by these defensive coaches. They're going to start bringing some heat and try to disrupt the play that was called. So
it's third down and short for the East All-Stars. Moore under center, and a swing pitch on the right side. Trying to squeeze his way for a first down is Terrell Porter, the outstanding running back from Berkeley High School. And the Berkeley Bear, I believe, gives the East All-Stars the first down. He does. Now, he's a really interesting story, 25 and white.
What you're going to see here, they're going to do is get these guards out front. This is a pull, and it's just going to be a toss back. Let's let it go now. But a good job. Look at Ryan Hankins, number 98, getting in the back with a young man from Davison. He is a football player. That's his third tackle already here in the first quarter, Matt. So he's been very disruptive. I think a kid that was undervalued coming out. He's going to Wayne State, you know, on a ride. But I thought, watching him play, I saw him play twice in high school. I thought he was definitely a MAC, maybe even like a Big Ten type of player. So I think Wayne State really got a good one in number 98.
Heck of a year last year for Wayne State. Keith Moore out of the shotgun at the quarterback position. Fumbled the snap. Pressure coming, but he's such a good athlete. He made something out of nothing there. There was all kinds of pressure come from the backside.
There was. Yeah, and there was. What he does, Matt, as you said, he's able to pick up the ball, but Keith Moore's facing is something he hasn't faced during the course of the year. All 11 guys on the defensive side of the ball can run.
Yeah.
In a regular season game, there's an opportunity. If he makes one or two miss, you're going to see the snap. It's a good snap. He just mishandles it. Now, right here, when he turns up the field, I'm sure people have watched Keith during the course of the year. I've seen him pop that for about 50 yards, but all the guys in the red shirts can run on defense, and they can really close, and Keith will get used to that as he takes his skills to the next level as well.
Keith going to Saginaw Valley State. Although he can run, he was an all-stater in the 400 meters. Second down and long. He will roll to his right, and he'll keep it all the way. Tracked down by Anthony Zettel at the 21-yard line. 67 in red is a monster, ladies and gentlemen, from Ogama Heights. And his coaches have told us all week long. Pete Skirmahorn said he has been unblockable all week.
That's why he's going to Penn State, right?
That's right. Yeah, he's 6'5", 250, and when you were talking to him earlier, and you're a big guy, this kid was eye to eye, nose to nose with you. You looked at me and you said, you know
I
what?
could see his nose hairs, actually. He was looking up at him.
You told me you can put some more meat on those bones, and that's pretty big.
Yeah, you put 30 pounds in him, it won't look like anything.
Moore will throw for it. Slingshots it out to the 26. It's caught in another first down. Jason Wilson hauled it in. The senior from Farmington High School pulls in his first catch of the day.
A pretty nice timing here between Moore and Wilson that time. This is just a hitch route. They needed a few yards. You're going to see him drive down 5 yards. Let's watch his head. Let it go. He looks up the field. Nice job not giving the route away. And then he turns back to the inside. I like to see him turn to the outside. All the danger comes from the inside when you catch that. All those linebackers. But well executed. Timing is everything on a hitch route. And that time it was pretty good.
Well, you did a good job, too, of pushing the corner off. That corner was Chad Coleman. Here's an inside give. Oh, and shucking the block was Baydoun. He bounced off Anthony Zettel, but a flag on the play.
And a face mask, I think, coming up, as we saw a little early indication by the official.
There's a penalty flag on the play. Indication is face mask against the West.
And this is fun watching the guys up front, Matt. If you like football, and if you're a real connoisseur of the game, you watch what happens in the pit. These guys all come off flat back. When I say flat back, they come out of their stance, they hit waist, and they work up. They bring their hips, they bring their legs, both sides of the ball. The defenders are meeting, and it's just like a couple of bulls clashing in the ring. Really good technique with those linemen on both sides of the ball.
Tyler Lemke is into that West All-Star defense. He wears 56 in red. He's up the middle. They're trying to set up a screen. Instead, Moore will roll. He's got some room. Pump fakes and tracked and hit out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
The timing was just messed up.
They mark him officially at the 36.5-yard line.
This is going to be a slip screen. I think they have Wilson who's going to be, let's take a look. He's going to come all the way. Keep an eye here on your screen. He's going to come all the way underneath. Here he comes. See him flashing across the middle? But it was just the timing was bad. It was not there. Moore was looking for him. At the same time, the defenders were getting in his face, and Wilson was nowhere to be seen yet. So once again, the timing really, really screwed that play up.
Second down and short, and the East jumped the gun a little bit. So they'll move him back.
Start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down and 7.
We're seeing exactly what we thought we'd see, Matt, in this type of game. Is we're seeing some very athletic plays, some very strong plays, and we're also seeing teams where the timing is off right now. And it's when you run a slip screen, any type of bubble screen like that, everything is predicated on timing, and it's just not quite there, so we're not seeing the execution we're used to seeing.
You can tell the talent that is out there as well. There's an inside give as Terrell Porter spun his way back to the 35-yard line. As we mentioned before, Porter, who played for Jim McDougal at Berkeley, a two-time All-Stater, and you talk about a build, 6'3", 215 pounds, runs a legit 4.4, 4.5 40, benches over 300, squats over 400. I mean, he's a big kid.
The strength of these young men, it's so much greater than it was 15, 20 years ago because of the strength and conditioning programs the high schools have, and even the specific football courses they can take in high school. And now their physical being is so much more advanced.
Bunch set to the right for Moore, who rolls that way. And incomplete. Ben McCord, the intended receiver.
And that's just a classic bunch route they ran, Matt. Where you say bunch, we have three receivers in a grouping, offset on one side of the line, and all you do out of those three, now you can mix it up, but one's going to go deep, one's going to break off and out at the intermediate, and then one's going to go shallow, and you're just trying to get a little bit of a progression read for the quarterback. That time Moore tried to get the intermediate, but it was pretty well covered and no room to put the ball.
Mike Weeks is back deep for the West All-Stars to receive Aaron Mick's punt. He's from Parkway Christian, All-State kicker, honorable mention, All-State punter as well, and a flag on the play. That is offsides against the West. That's enough for a first down.
Penalty is offsides on the defense.
Well, this is a penalty that can really hurt you here. We're going to highlight him right there, coming off the edge. You see that? You cannot do that. Comes unabated. That's going to be a penalty, 5 yards, and you only need 3. And that's just like a turnover in the course of a game.
Sure
you give a penalty when you're supposed to get the ball back, and now you're on defense. That's a tough one.
So Brad Horling, the defensive back from Zeeland East, the guilty party, that lets the East stay on offense. Keith Moore, pump fakes now, fires downfield, wide open is a man at the 30, 25-20. Does he have enough to get in? Touchdown, Jason Wilson.
You talk about a turn of events. You go from being on offense, you jump off sides on the punt play, and then Moore's able to hook up with Wilson. Wilson's going to be to the bottom of the screen, and this is no read. He knows he has man. They have a spread set, 4 receivers. He's got man to the outside, and he just lets Wilson get a little bit of space. And that time he's able to get behind the would-be defender. I think that was Chad Coleman, number 39, was trying to chase him down, but that's just speed with accuracy in the arm, and what you get is 6 points.
Aaron Berthette on for the extra point, and it wiggles wide right. Somebody got a big paw on it up front, but it doesn't take away from the Keith Moore, Jason Wilson 60-yard touchdown pitch and catch to give East first blood in the 31st annual high school all-star game.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lazy Boy is proud to be a part of your home and...
Well, you know, you see, Matt, you watch a couple plays kind of fizzle out. The execution's not there. The timing's not there. You get a penalty. But you can see what these young men are capable of. When they're on the same page, when the quarterback puts the ball down the field, you see the speed of Wilson, the receiver, and that is a really, really tough cover for Chad Coleman, one-on-one, left on an island on the wide side of the field. We'll get another look here at it with the Moore to Wilson connection. Now, you watch, pause it right, stop right there. Now, you can see right now his eyes are looking right down in that area, Matt. That's where he wants to go with the football. He knows he has man outside. He's just letting Wilson clear the defender. He puts a lot of air on it, and I think Chad Coleman might have anticipated a crossing route. It looks like he was jumping inside a little bit. But, man, when you put a ball out like that and a guy like Wilson who can run with that type of speed, that's 6 points.
Hey, how about the protection from James Walsh,
Excellent.
Brett Koch, and Spencer Cairo up front? Those big nasties up front did a really nice job of protecting Keith Moore. Finishes off a 10-play, 95-yard drive in a little bit more than 5 minutes. So Aaron Berthette from Henry Ford High School will kick it away. Takes an awkward bounce. Anaje Miller is gobbled up at about the 11 or 12-yard line. So a long way for the West All-Stars. Now the long way to meet up with Rob Otto, who's down on the sidelines. Rob?
Yeah, and funny thing is I'm breathing harder than Jason Wills. Congratulations. Huge catch and run. Just walk us through the play. What happened on your end?
I mean, just pretty much a go. You know, I tried to beat the defender. Blocks held up, did a great job of blocking, and quarterback put it on the money. And easy for me, just make the catch.
Now, was that the same play you guys ran from scrimmage on your first offensive play?
Thought I was going to score at the first play, but still messed up timing, but it's all right. We got it back.
So you take it at the end of the first quarter, just at the front?
We'll take it. However we get it, we'll take it.
However it is, they got the lead, Shep.
Yeah, what a play, too. Wilson is Farmington's all-time leading receiver in yards, receptions, and touchdowns. And now he'll watch his Eastern defense try to make sure they keep West off the board.
Second down and 9.
That play made by Ashton Gaines from Crockett High School, who will take his cornerback talents to Toledo. Caleb Higbee, the quarterback, out of DeWitt. Second down and 10 for he and the West offense. Wants to throw. Flush from the pocket, still with his eyes downfield. Made a nice move. He's got some open room, and then he's gobbled up at about the 14-yard line. Oh, and a little extracurricular taking place afterwards. They've all gotten to know one another the past week or so, but the bottom line is they are all competitors, and they want to win.
Matt, as you made the call on this play, you made a nice coaching point about Higbee that time. You watch when he comes out of the pocket here. Eyes are down the field, feels the pressure, steps out, eyes down the field, scrambles again. Look at his eyes the entire time. He's looking to throw the ball. And I love running quarterbacks that look to pass, and then utilize their running skills. I don't like running quarterbacks who just don't give the play time to develop down the field and they take off and run.
Mike Keith made the tackle. Now it's third down and long. Higbee again rolls to the strong side of his throwing ability. He balanced up and got to the 21. He's going to be shy of the first down. Tough hombre right there at 5'11", 185.
You can really see the difference, Matt, out here, too, is the closing speed on both sides of the ball. I think Higbee really felt he was able to scramble and pick that up, but all of a sudden, he made a cut at about 5 yards, and within 2 or 3 steps, there were 2 or 3 white jerseys there closing on him, and that's what you're going to see, a lot of speed in the open field. Jared Barton will kick it deep. This is Donnell Carruthers. And he's tripped up at the 37-yard line. Really nice play downfield by Justin Curry.
Inside the 40 and about the 38-yard line. Justin Curry hitting immediately.
Justin Curry, he's the hawk to the top of the field that time, and it's one of the most difficult things, Matt. I remember back in my days with the Lions, I was a fullback on the punt. I don't know how many times I went down the field, be the first one there with the punt returner. I'd break down and I'd get nothing but air. I remember Billy White Shoes Johnson once. He made me miss, but Curry does a good job, comes under control, he takes a shot. If he tries to break down in that situation, he's not going to make the play. He knew it, he rolled the dice, took a shot, and made the play.
He'll be playing at Western Michigan next year. Near interception by Dalton Stenberg, who already has one. He read the eyes of Tommy Vento, and if he holds on to that, Rob, he might be dancing in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the East quarterbacks, Moore and Vento, are seeing right now, but they're not seeing Stenberg. He's just dropping. And these are basic fronts, all 4-man fronts. There's no blitzing. You got to realize that a linebacker is going to drop to hook to his side. He's going to be in that zone. That little intermediate short pass is not going to be there. You're going to have to throw all the way to the sidelines.
Vento out of the gun. And an inside get. Oh, boy, and Zettel blew it up. He and Damon Knox, number 93 in red, just torched that play for a -1.
This play never has a chance, as you stated, Matt, but what I saw as well was right there, number 90, Ryan Hankins with great penetration, does not make the tackle. but he makes everything bubble in the backfield. And that's what you want your defensive tackles. They don't have to make the tackle, but if you can change the line of direction that the play is designed, make it go east and west, make it take a half a second longer, allows the rest of the defense to come in and clean up.
Well, a chance to get to know a lot of these individuals on both sides of the football, on both sides of the field, including Desmond Morgan and his plans and his excitement in playing on such a prestigious stage.
Oh, you know, it's definitely a great privilege to be able to play in the game and play amongst, you know, the best players in the state, phenomenal athletes, and get the opportunity to go out there and compete against them and, you know, get ready for the next level while representing your school and especially your side of the state. My high school coach coached in the All-Star game a few years back, and then his son played in it the following year as a linebacker, Grant Caserta, and then I believe a year after that, a friend of mine, Tyler Van Tubrian, who went on to play quarterback at Western, also played in the game. Yeah, you know, bringing it back to the West Side and a win for the West would definitely be important to me. You know, as well as the team. I think everybody's kind of rallied this week and understands what it means to represent our side of the state and kind of prove a point to everyone.
Well, you know, Matt, he talked about representing his side of the state, the west side, but it's also, if you look at how this geographically is split up, about 95% of the landmass of the state of Michigan is the west team. The east team basically is Metro Detroit. So you have the huge population, but the rest of the state belongs to the west.
3rd down and 13 now for the East. Vento on a half roll. Now a throwback. Oh, and what great positioning. Oh, boy, these kids, see, here's what makes these kids so darn good. It's not just their athletic ability, it's their intelligence, their football smarts, and Colin Wilson broke on the ball beautifully.
And this play right here, it's trying to deceive the defense by formation. They're going to have a bunch formation to the right here. You look at here, they got 3 guys to the right, and the only guy is back to the left, and they try to swing the ball outside. But when one defender can sniff things out, Matt, entire play can break down. One guy stays home, plays his technique, and it can foul up everything.
Aaron Mick almost had that punt blocked by Wilson. And he got a kind roll as well. To the 31-yard line. And that is where the West All-Stars will take control from here. With the East leading 6-0. Good look at Rayshawn Nance out of Warren Woods Tower. A second-team All-Stater. And plays one of the cornerback positions.
We get high marks for low prices at your kids' school supplies. Backpacks, lunch boxes, new school outfits, and more.
New quarterback, and it's Max Sovereign
Lower prices.
from Traverse City Central High School, who will be playing at Duke next year. The handoff to Anaje Miller.
Sovereign in the game and quarterback from Traverse City Central High School. Hands off to Anaje Miller.
Gain of about 4 or so.
Matt made the tackle. Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6.
Each defense has forced a turnover. The East recovering a fumble. The West with an interception by outside linebacker Dalton Stenberg. But the difference in the game was a touchdown pass from Keith Moore to Jason Wilson of the East All-Stars for 60 yards. It's a 6-0 East All-Star lead. They're in white, the West are in red. Miller again. Right tackle and moves the pile for a 1st down. Leg strength and good job by the big fellas up front as well.
Forward across the 40 to the 42 or 43-yard line.
Miller only goes 185 pounds, but that's packed into a 5'11" body, and I think that's being generous. I had a chance to talk to him a little bit prior to the game, and not look quite that tall. So he's pretty solid. We saw excellent leg drive there, and yeah, I like the way we talked earlier, Matt, about the offensive line. They all stay up and stay on. They keep their legs driving, and it's a real war up front. And Miller knows that. He knows these guys are going to stay on, so if he can just keep true to the path, stay in the hole, he'll get some yards.
1st down and 10. Sovereign will throw. Feeling his way, right side on the run, and it is caught for a 1st down by the big tight end, Cole Walderzak. And a big target, 6'8", 230 pounds from Standish Sterling High School.
And there was a possible touchdown here, as you're going to see. As Sovereign rolls out to the right, down deep, Luke Capon had got behind the defense. The safety had bitten up on the intermediate pass. And he was wide open going down the field, but just not, Sovereign was looking short, did not see him. But he was 10 yards behind the defense.
Sovereign, the second quarterback on this West All-Star team. It's not something he's used to. He's started 65 consecutive games in his high school career. This time he gives to Luke Wyzoon. Wyzoon from Flint Powers. An add-on in this game. Rob Otto's on the sidelines. Rob?
Hey guys, I just wanted to fill you in quickly on the selection process, how these kids got here. The Michigan High School Football Coaches Association Board of Directors has 2 meetings, one for the East team, one for the West team, and they decide. The rules are simple. Pick a senior, maximum of 1 per team, and they also had to make sure to get at least 2 players from Class D and 4 players from Class C, and that's how we got the 88 players per team here today, Shep.
Good knowledge. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it very much. And what an honor it is for these guys to be able to play on such a stage and then hopefully carry over this momentum to whatever school is lucky to have them. 2nd down and 7. Nice long drive for the West All-Stars. Miller on a toss back down the sideline inside the 35. Run out of bounds near the 33-yard line or so by Rayshawn Nance. You'll see the stickers on a lot of these players' helmets. What they do is they exchange each other's school logos, school stickers, if you will, that is usually found on a helmet or two, and they take great pride in that.
Yeah, it's a little memento of their week, of all the friendships they've made, all the young men that they met from other schools, and I'm sure there's been some trash talking on the same team, which is pretty rare, against each other, either what has happened in the past or what may happen in the near future.
Miller on a toss. Good stutter step move, but he's wrapped up immediately on a nice trip-up play from the East All-Stars by Fariz Yakubi. Just to finish that thought, I was talking with one player who was really upset because he felt like his school didn't provide him with enough stickers, so he wasn't getting enough in return. That's how important it is for a lot of these guys.
You're as good as what you can give.
That's right.
As that last play made by Fariz Yakubi that time, getting outside, one-on-one situation, looked like Miller had juked him. It looked like he had made a nice little shake and go, but Yakubi showing the type of athlete he is. All-state in the shot put as well, heading to Penn.
Yep. 2nd down and long. Sovereign stands tall, throws on a quick slant, and it's dropped. Mike Weeks had it and then dropped it, and would love to have that one back. The senior from Cadillac who played for Jim Webb and will be playing for Saginaw Valley and the GLIAC this coming fall.
Ashton Gaines and coverage for the East. So 3rd down and 13.
So 3rd down and 13 now for the West, who want to keep this drive moving. Sovereign threw for 2,300 yards, 19 touchdowns, only 2 picks this year. That's what Tom Passano at Traverse City Central loved most about his signal caller. Did not give the ball to the other team very often. 3rd down and long. Squares his shoulders, throws, and a nice catch at the 20-yard line. That's beautiful right there. TK Kubaruno hauls in his 2nd rock of the afternoon.
Kubaruno does a nice job of getting a defender. You're going to see from behind, look here. He's going to be on the bottom side of your screen. He drives the defender, gets him to open up his hips, and then comes back to the ball. And that, by doing that, allows Sovereign a place to put the football. You need, as a quarterback, obviously an opening to throw the ball. And that time, Kubaruno did a good job of creating some space and catching the ball in his hands, Matt. And when the defense is coming tight, you got to use that shock absorber. Catch it away from your body. Give yourself a little room to give with it.
Najee Miller did a really nice job on blocking there as the tailback position. 1st and 10 now. They got just enough for the 1st down. Sovereign in trouble. Needs some help. Good block. And now down he goes. Boy, that defense smelled blood, didn't it? They saw him in all kinds of trouble, and they decided to say, let's get after him. Marquez Goldman got him for a loss of 16.
Well, this is just pretty much a defense that will keep pursuing. As you can see, it's blocked to the right a little bit. Now he's going to stop and come back. Sovereign tries to scramble, makes one defender miss, picks up a couple good blocks, but Goldman would not quit on it, and he shot through a gap. And remember now, once the quarterback breaks the pocket, Matt, once he starts to show scramble, those linebackers can come. Obviously, Goldman not a defensive lineman. He's a linebacker with a tackle in the backfield, but that's not a blitz. Once the quarterback breaks his rhythm.
2nd and 21, Miller on a screen. Got a nice block, and it's tripped up at the 21. Nearly got back to the line of scrimmage. Makes it manageable now for the West. And you've always told us, don't worry about trying to pick up all 21 yards.
Exactly right.
You know,
just get half of it there. Not a lot of plays you have to get 21 yards. This is just a middle screen. You're going to see more release to the middle, or Miller rather. He gets the ball, takes it up the field, another up the field move, makes a defender miss, and gets whatever's there. And that's a good job by Miller. As you said, Matt, he's not going to score in that play, but by getting 10 yards, now puts you in a 3rd and manageable. And if you can get 7 or 8 yards, you're more likely to go for it on 4th down. You know, I hate taking away from the kickers, but I don't think these coaches are here to highlight their kickers. Their kickers have already determined where they're going. They want to highlight their quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs.
4 wide receivers set for Max Sovereign.
Oh, he's got man in the slot here.
3rd down and 11. Looks right now. Lofts it. Capon. Touchdown! We're even at 6. Great patience by Sovereign. Really nice protection, and Capon just broke off his route and leaked free for 6.
Well, Matt, we've always talked about receivers. When the quarterback comes to you, you go away. If the quarterback goes away, you come back. And Sovereign does a good job, once again, scrambling but not looking to run. There was a few yards we picked up. He keeps his head down the field. Capon sees him scrambling. He was running a curl route at about 8 yards. When he saw Sovereign break to him, he just did a pirouette, headed down the field. Earlier he was open on a long play. I said he was behind the defense, and that's just a feel. You can't coach that type of feel that Capon showed.
Mitch Bredberg on to give them the lead, and he has done it. Luke Capon, a big playmaker for the state champion Ithaca Yellow Jackets. Terry Hesbrook used him in a number of different situations, and in that championship game at Ford Field, he had 11 receptions, 3rd most all time in state championship history. He is a difference maker.
Yeah, I had a chance to do his game. Now let's take a look right here. Pause it. I want you to take a look at what a good receiver would do. He breaks down. Okay, let it go. Scrambling, quarterback in the pocket. He's coming to me. You go away. Look at that. Throws his hand up, breaks down the field, and Sovereign finds him. That's something you try to teach kids, but kids just don't have that type of patience as Capon just showed. Sometimes they panic. The quarterback will come to, and they'll just start going sideways. They don't know what to do. Capon realized, if I peel, all the defense is coming up. The defense is closing on the quarterback. I'm going away.
Sovereign, good job keeping, again, the eyes upfield. If you're looking down, you don't see Capon break off his route and be able to get there. Rob Otto.
Shep was just up there scrambling around. How did you have the vision to be able to see Capon cutting toward the end zone?
Yeah, well, that was Luke's good adjustment. He saw the secondary, the corners jump up on that, and then he ran over the top, and I was able to drop it back there for him.
I think you got your offensive line right over here. What do you want to say to those boys?
Hey, they're doing a good job. Long enough. TD, that's all that matters.
That's all that counts. That's all that counts. Get it back up to you, Shep.
Love those smiles, Rob. Love the enthusiasm these kids play the game with. Sovereign going to Duke, an honorable mention All-Stater and a 3-time academic All-Stater. And, of course, if you go to Duke, you have to be smart, don't you?
Yeah, you have to be pretty bright. That's definitely the cream of the ACC schools academically. But, you know, I liked about that interview with Rob is when you heard the quarterback Sovereign talk about the receiver, he called him Luke. He said Luke broke it off. When he didn't say Capon, he said Luke.
Yeah.
That just shows the type of friendships they make. They're on a first-name basis over the course of this week. It's a great experience that these kids have.
Rabian Beydoun and Danelle Carithers are back deep to receive the Bredberg kickoff. 7-6, West in front. This is Beydoun. And he's rolled over at about the 28, 29-yard line or so.
12-yard line, returns that over the 20 to the 29-yard line. Number 5, Dylan Monette makes the tackle there.
So with 5:36 remaining in the opening half and the West leading by 1, now the East tries to reclaim the lead.
In the first half.
Keith Moore is back at the controls at the quarterback position. The senior out of Cass Tech. Where's number 1? The first PSL quarterback to play in the All-Star game. And an inside give. Beydoun. Not much there. Well, that defensive line has done a really nice job. And if it's not them clogging holes for the linebackers, it's the defensive line making tackles themselves. This time it was Brett Agnetuck, who played at Rockford and will be playing here at Central Michigan this fall. Two-year starter at the inside linebacker position for Ralph Munger and the Rams. And a state champion in 2008. Rockford, one of the best programs in the state year in and year out.
That's funny. You see some of these guys here, Matt, and you hear the names of their coaches. Munger, Harrington. These are names that are known throughout the coaching community.
Slingshot. Wilson's got it again. He'll waltz in for the second touchdown of the day.
Oh, this is just a blown coverage that time. Monette, he was playing the corner on that side. He released Wilson. He thought he was playing a zone that he had flat. He released him to the safety that was holding out there. But that was purely a mix-up because, as you can see, there was no one on campus, I would say, that was even near Wilson on that play. That's a lot easier than this last one. But to the credit of the East, you still have to put the ball there. You still have to catch it, and that was well executed. Is that the second time that combination's hooked up?
It is. That's a pretty good average. 3 receptions for 139 yards. Rob Otto won't have to go very far to find Jason Wilson. Wilson will be seeking out Rob Otto after yet another touchdown grab. So he and Keith Moore got something happening. Aaron Berthette hoping to connect here. Couldn't last time. This time he does. And just like that, East jumps back in front by 6, 13-7. The last time that Keith Moore connected with Jason Wilson, they went 60 yards to pay dirt. This time they bettered it by 8.
I've been giving props to Jason Wilson on the sideline, and that might be the easiest touchdown he's ever going to get. It really helps in this game if you cover someone. If you're in the right coverage, it's a tough enough game to play when you're in position trying to make plays, let alone when you have that miscommunication. We saw in the first quarter, Matt. We saw a few penalties. We saw the timing being off, and you're going to see assignment problems, and that's what that was purely. It was not someone getting beat physically. It was purely an assignment issue.
You know what you're going to see, too, Rob, is you get Keith Moore, who's going to Saginaw Valley. 3 of his linemen will be teammates with him with the Cardinal football program this coming fall. There is a little chemistry being,
built
created.
Early on. Yeah. No, I think this game is a little bit heavier. The GLIAC between Ferris, Wayne State, Grand Valley, and Saginaw Valley. And I'm not sure Rob Otto knows anything about the GLIAC, unlike myself. But Rob, what do you know down there?
Well, I don't know much, but I know this guy can throw a ball. And I know Wilson can get underneath it and catch it. This is Keith Moore from Cass Tech. Tell me about those couple of plays.
Man, we've been doing this all week since day one in camp, man. It's just like easy, man. You got the speed. All I got to do is throw it out there so you can go get it.
Yeah, Wilson was saying that's you tried that play on the first play and just couldn't get there.
Yeah, man, it's just underthrown ball. It was all right, though, man. Just come back and get it.
All right, Shep, let's get it back up to you. We got the stars of the game down here.
It's interesting, Rob. He has 3 completions, all 3 to Jason Wilson. And all his yards completed to the Farmington wide receiver as well. Keith Moore is used to throwing touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. He threw 53 of them in his career. Also rushed for another 19. Najee Miller off the kickoff. Found a burst and a seam to get to the 31-yard line. See what the West can do with it now that they're back in control. There's the East All-Star head coach, Wes Gall, out of Manchester High School. Boy, what a thrill it has been for him as well to be able to coach these kids, get to know them, and his coaching staff. Friendships, bonds get in some cases reunited, some galvanized a little bit more. Max Sovereign remains in at quarterback for the West All-Stars from Traverse City Central High School, and a toss break into the outside and then drilled at the 30-yard line is Jared Bergiulio from Swan Valley High School. He'll play at Northwood this fall.
We're going to look at this tight. I want you to keep an eye on the fullback, number 44. That's Tyler Havens. You want to see why fullbacks are still useful in football. I know they're a dying breed, but you can see pressure come in. Number 44, he's taking the lead. And look, he just stones a defender coming up, came through untouched. And that's what you want to see from your fullback. Don't give any ground. Meet him with force, and Havens did.
Well, Havens will be playing Loran Jabadou from Brother Rice because they'll be playing in the same league after Sovereign fires right side, and it's caught by Mike Weeks because Jadou from Brother Rice and the East All-Stars will be playing at Northern Michigan, and Tyler Havens will be playing at Ferris State, so they'll be clashing a little bit.
Yeah, they'll meet each other every year for next 4 or 5 years. I always thought the teams up north, Northern and Tech, had such an advantage when you had to drive up there 8-10 hours. Usually you're fighting the snow and deer on the way. You pick up a little speed beef as your bus bounces off of a little bit of venison through the UP, but it's quite a trip, and it's a great experience. And I think Great Lakes football, it's one of those things, people, if you're a football fan, you don't have to go to Michigan State, East Lansing, or Ann Arbor. Find a Great Lakes school close to you and enjoy it.
3rd down and 4. Sovereign wants Capon again. They've already connected on one touchdown, but this time it falls incomplete because of the nice break on the football by Rayshawn Nance.
Well, that ball was a little bit underthrown. Capon may have had a step on it, but Nance, man, nice ball skills. You talk about, we have done the Mid-American Conference for 11 years together, Matt, and that's one of the things we harp on all the time. And I just don't see the ball skills by the defensive backs. In other words, when the ball is in the air, you need to be the receiver as a defender. You have to locate the ball and strip the ball, and that's what Nance did that time.
Yeah, sure did. Did a really nice job. So that forces a punting situation now for Jared Barton out of Fulton High School. Janelle Carithers back with his heels at his own 25. This is a
he's got
fake
room.
punt. He's got a ton of room. He's got a 1st down and more. And into the territory of the East All-Stars. What a play and what a call by Pete Skirmahorn.
And what a block he picked up late. Hopefully we're going to look. Jamie Potts from Oak Ridge. Oh my, does he pick it up? Now let's watch. Let's keep an eye on the punter. This is going to be, it's not predetermined. It's kind of a read. He can still do the rugby punt, but he sees the opening. He picks up a block, get ready to pause it. Okay, let's slow it down. Oh, right there. You see, if you back it up just here, I know we can read, we don't have, back up just here. Look right here. Let's keep an eye right there. I double highlighted and watch it. Watch this block. 1, 2. He picks up 2 defenders and one of his own guys on that block. But that's an ear hole. What a great job and what a great call.
Well, a really good job to not get a blocking in the back. You got to get your head in the front of the defender, and he did just that. They needed 4. They picked up 29 on the fake punt. They are allowed, as we had shown you before, a certain number of trick plays.
Well, they get
3 of them,
1, 2,
and there's 1.
3. And now you got to cross out that one. So now they're down to 2, doing the math real easily. And it is, but I just wonder who's keeping track. Now, do we have someone up in the booth keeping track of the trick plays?
Or maybe the officials.
Plausible denial by the coaches. I think they'll say, I don't remember the one I called in the first quarter. When it gets to the 4th quarter, you'll be pulling a rabbit out of their hats by then.
That made Jared Barton's season as a punter, that's for sure. Remember, he rushed for 4,800 yards in high school and 55 touchdowns. So he's not just a punter. Give inside. There's not a whole lot of running room there for Anaje Miller, who's getting a lot of work done. The Lansing Sexton grad. Helps to have athletes at the punter position.
Mm-hmm. Well, you need to understand, Matt. I know you went to a big school. You went to North Farmington, where you start as a young quarterback. But I tell you, when you're from a small school like Barton is, I'm from Newberry. I punted, kicked, defense, offense, popcorn at halftime. You do the whole show, whatever it takes. You have a limited number of students in your high school, so you got to utilize your athletes, and Barton was one of them.
Did you cut the grass as well?
Yes, I did.
3rd down and 5 from the 28. Here's a toss back to Miller. Another good block. Sideways, twisting his way to the 27-yard line, well shy of the 1st down. That'll bring up a 4th down play now for the West, and an injury on the field, and you hate to see something like this.
And this is the biggest fear when you commit to doing this game, not only for the young men, but for their soon to be coaches at the collegiate level, is his injury.
Well, while they attend to the fallen player, we get to know Justin D'Agostino from Detroit Catholic Central, who plays outside linebacker for the East All-Stars.
I'm very honored to play in this game. I just want to represent my school in the best manner. I want to represent my family in the best manner, you know, my friends and everything. I just want to play my best. Well, yeah, it's an individual thing to get invited to the All-Star game, but once you meet everybody, you know, you got to become a team, because you're not going to win with individuals, you're going to win with a team. So, you know, we're all going to come together, become a team, and hopefully we'll win the game. Well, my friend Mike Kimbo, he played in here last year, and he told me it was a very good experience. He was very excited to come here, and he said a great time. He just told me it was a great time, enjoy it. You know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so just make the most of it. Yes, I'm very competitive, so yeah, I don't like to lose.
Well, you can understand why. Justin D'Agostino didn't really lose a whole lot at Catholic Central. Won a state championship in 2009. And it's nice to see that the fallen player, Logan Mosier, is up now. The big offensive lineman from St. Joseph High School, who will be going to Elmhurst College, will gingerly walk to the West All-Stars. Rob Otto has an update for us. Rob?
Yeah, guys, you know, it's interesting to say, you know, that was a West player, Mosier, that was down, but I'm here on the East sideline, and all these guys also took a knee. They were very silent. They were watching. They knew it could easily be one of them that was out there injured. These guys, over the course of the week, practicing here in Mount Pleasant, really got to know each other, a lot of camaraderie, and the last thing they wanted to see was one of their fellow players down.
Yeah, it's a good point, Rob. It's one of the beauties of this event for sure. Mosier, by the way, a two-time national champion in robotics. Very smart kid as well. 4 years golf, captain of the hockey team. A very well-rounded individual.
He plays hockey?
Elmhurst College. Yes, he plays hockey as well.
6'2", 240?
That is
I might have to
horse.
just I might have to dump the puck quick.
4th down and 5. Sovereign wants to throw for the first down. Will he have time? Good maneuverability. Running out of room. Lofts it for the end zone, and it is broken up and incomplete.
Well, I like Sovereign what he did on that play, though, Matt. He gave his team a chance to make a play. The ball sailed a little bit out of the end zone. He could have taken the sack, but instead he realized on a 4th down play, throw caution to the wind, throw it up, and that's exactly what he did that time.
And even if it gets picked off.
Right, not a big deal. It's just going to be a touchback that actually would probably help them out in field position. Now the East will take over with only 46 seconds remaining in the half on their own 27-yard line. So now you put yourself in the East corner, and you wonder what Wesley Gall, is he going to throw it up, or is he going to be conservative here?
Tommy Vento is back at quarterback for the East All-Stars.
Tommy's saying, well, how come Jason Wilson isn't in the game with me right now?
That's right. The Harrison quarterback under center. And a draw play. Terrell Porter stiff arms his way and is pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Vento, by the way, out of Harrison, led his club to a state Division II championship. They're going 14-0. Threw for over 2,800 yards, 32 TDs, and will play at Michigan State. He was Mr. Football in the state of Michigan. Also set a state record for most yards in a game, 345 yards in one game. 6'1", 185 on a 2nd down and 8. Looks left, throws that way, and it's nearly intercepted. Another job breaking on the ball, Dylan Monette from Williamston High School.
I had a chance to do Williamston in the state finals this year, Matt, and the Williamston defensive backs were as good a group as I've ever seen, led by Dylan Monette. They had 3 or 4 guys. You talk about ball hawks, guys back there playing the football, making plays, really did a nice job of competing. And I thought they were a little bit physically overmatched in that game, but Dylan Monette, there's a good look at Dylan from Williamston High School.
A member of Williamston's Business Professional of America.
See a theme here with these kids, man?
Yeah.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
You really do. Yeah. And that's the reason that college coaches love these type of kids. You sign a kid like this, you got him for 4 or 5 years. You don't worry about academics. You don't worry about keeping him eligible. You know you have him.
Another guy who's going to be playing at Saginaw Valley State. Quick toss. And to the 41-yard line with a 1st down was Terrell Porter. Or actually, that's Shane Van Fletteren, the senior out of Utica High School. Played a few years under Anthony Smith. Good size, 6'3", 185. And we have an East timeout with 26 seconds remaining. So the East burning one of their 3 timeouts. They've got plenty of them to take the rest of the way if they want to try and get in field goal range or something like that. Members of West Gull's offensive coaching unit out there: Jason Vandermoss, Zach Maggs, Scott Barnhart, Brad Bays, and Ernie Ayers, part of that East All-Star coaching staff. So it's a first down and 10 for the East. And you know that there's some of the best cheerleaders in the state coming out here to root these teams on as well. So it's a little opportunity to check out the collegiate atmosphere. Tommy Vento on a 1st and 10 from the 41. Quick 3-step drop, and it's incomplete, intended for Jason Wilson. Wilson covered again by Dylan Monette.
Nice job by Monette reading Wilson that time. As Wilson started to raise his body on his hitch cut, Monette broke on the ball. Now, as an offensive coordinator, if I see a defensive back that reads that quickly, though, that's when you run the little curl and go on him. Because Dylan Monette, you run the curl and go, you pump fake him on the curl, and you get behind him. Because Dylan Monette, he was the one that was victimized on the miscommunication on the last long touchdown. He thought it was zone, and I'm not sure who was right or wrong, but the touchdown was thrown behind him, and he was unhappy.
He's got man-to-man on him again. A quick slant. Nice grab by Van Fletteren, who backs his way inside the 45 to the 44 for a first down. That is great concentration on the part of Shane Van Fletteren.
Wilson made the tackle.
Yeah, let me see that. Yeah, this is, Matt, this is a type of deal as a quarterback and a receiver. It's pretty impressive what I just saw, because this is an automatic. This is a hot route. We're going to get a look right here. Oh, right by, stop it right here. You can see there's no one in here. Oh, there's a nice sunny day. It is, but the receiver, let it go. He's in the slot. There's no one covering. The safety is way to the inside the field. And before the ball, you just see the look back to the quarterback. They're on the same page. You throw the pop pass and try to get him vertical before the safety can come over the top.
Really is a beautiful day. Slight breeze here at Kelly Short Stadium as Vento uses that leadership capabilities to tell his guys what to do. And here's the thing about it. Every one of these guys on this football field today have been leaders on their team for years. So there are certain guys who have to raise their leadership capability in a situation like this.
And you don't force it as a coach. You just kind of let it sift itself out. Yep. The real top leaders will come to the surface during the course of the week.
1st and 10 from the 45.
You're thinking 3 plays left, Shep, 16 seconds to go.
And one timeout. One timeout left, too. Vento looks left. Now, across the middle. He's got his big fella, and it's caught by Van Fletteren. And he gets down to the 10-yard line. That pass intended for Ben McCord. Van Fletteren snuck in underneath, went high and grabbed it for a 35-yard completion. What a break on the ball, huh?
Well, he kind of intercepted it. Van Fletteren intercepted it. They both go up for the ball. You see, Van Fletteren, 26, does a little bit better job of getting at its highest point. If not for Chad Coleman coming up making the tackle, that's going to be 6 points. But what a job using the clock and moving the ball down the field by the East.
Beautiful, yeah. And Van Fletteren has been part of it. I mean, he's made 3 catches on the drive, including on the quick slant, his ability to turn and twist his body on a pass that was behind him to haul it in.
Well, look at the size this young man has. This is a wide receiver who's 6'3", 185 pounds. That's a big body. That's a kid that probably can put on 10 to 15 pounds over the next few years, and is going to be a very formidable type of wide receiver. He can use his speed and his athleticism, as we just saw, or he can also use his physical strength to beat the jams by the defender. So Van Fletteren really doing a nice job, and the only one unhappy about that last play is the big tight end. I think that time he got Ben McCord was going for the ball. He thought he had himself a touchdown down the middle of the field.
On the drive, Shane Van Fletteren, 3 catches, 62 yards.
Well, I think you have time now. Timeouts remaining, 0. So you have time for 2 plays, but they both have to be in the end zone. And you tell your quarterback, in this situation, if you're Tommy Otto, you got to throw the ball.
He's throwing the ball for the corner. He wants McCord, who makes a circus one-handed grab, but Dylan Monette had good position and pushed him out of bounds.
Number 5, Dylan Monette has great.
You like him a lot,
great. I really do. I watch this kid, and he has just a really good feel for the game. We saw Luke Capon on the offensive side. I think Dylan Monette's similar to that defensively. Not blessed with the best physical attributes. Not the biggest or fastest kid.
6 foot, 180.
Yeah. But he is a football player.
Sure
There's just some kids you watch and like, that's a football player. Number 5 is.
4-year starter at wide receiver and cornerback for that school. Now a field goal attempt. This will be a 27-yard attempt for Aaron Berthette. Good angle from our cameras, and it kicks it right into the lens. 16-7, the East in front. Aaron Berthette makes good on the field goal, and the East has a 9-point halftime lead. Rob Otto.
Hey guys, I'm down here. I'm actually just waiting for Wes Gall, the head coach of the East. He's taking his headset off. He was kind of busy trying to get his team to score down there, but we're down here on the East sideline. A really fun game so far. Back and forth. Started out a little sloppy, but things have finally turned around, and both offenses getting into the groove. And let's talk to Wes Gall now from Manchester High School. Coach, tell us first the decision. Did you want to try to throw it in the end zone one more time, or are you okay with those 3 points?
Oh, I'll take the 3. That gives 2 scores. That's a great place for us to be right now. So, yeah, I'm fine.
How's it been for you this week, getting to know a bunch of these kids? Obviously, the talent level has got to be so great bringing these kids in, but really getting to know them and get them on the field.
Well, we have an awful lot of talent on both sides of the field, so it was a great week for us at practice. We loved it as coaching staff. You're drooling because you see these kids coming in. It's heaven for us, and it was just a great week. Yes, I could do this every year, but they say if we win or lose, we're fired. So this is great to work with this type of an athlete every day. I loved it.
Now, Wes, the game started out a little sloppy. Had those couple of quick turnovers. Is that maybe to be expected for kids that really their only time together has been the 3-a-day practices that you put them through this week?
Well, there's a lot of things going. Last night at the banquet, they were told that the West was supposed to win this year because of what's going on with the history, and so they're a little, antsy to get out. They couldn't wait. They were ready to play at 10 o'clock this morning, so yes, we expected a few things to go wrong, but we adjusted, and the kids have really came back.
What helps when you've got Wilson just throw the ball up under. What can you say about that young man?
He's terrific. It was so nice to watch him run today or in practice this week. We couldn't stop him with our D-back, so we knew they were going to have trouble. He's just a great kid. Central's going to have fun with him.
How often have you seen a kid with that kind of speed?
Only one from when I had in high school, Nick Davis. He was that type of speed, but he's got sweet hands. He catches everything. You put him in a situation, they were on him, he still catches it. They did get it away from him over on that sideline, but I'll take him. I'll take him one-on-one with anybody.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot for the time. You got the lead at halftime. We appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you.
Wes Gall from Manchester High School. His team has the lead 16-7 here at the half. We're going to take a real quick break. Be right back and talk about the folks who put together this whole thing, our Michigan High School Football Coaches Association East-West All-Star Game here on public television.
Participants in the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association All-Star Football Game have been nominated by their coaches and selected by a committee of the MHSFCA. Information at MHSFCA.com. The 31st Michigan High School Football All-Star Game is made possible by the UAW Center for Human Resources and General Motors, Meyer, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Sound Productions, and by these great sponsors. At MHSFCA.com, you can find information on scholarships, leadership awards, Hall of Fame membership, eligibility and recruiting information, and the Michigan High School football records. While you're there, check out the Hall of Fame with bios of past All-Stars. Information is also available for the 2012 Annual Professional Clinic held in Kalamazoo, January 19th through 21st. It's all at MHSFCA.com.
Central Michigan University, you see the East All-Stars leading the West All-Stars 16-7 at the half. A couple of long touchdown catches by Jason Wilson. I'm Rob Otto, and we are here down on the field here at the half, and we are joined by Gus Kapolka, who is the director of the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association All-Star Game. I got that relatively right.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Yeah, it certainly is. We're going to say the MHSFCBA. That honestly, it just makes everything sound better. Gus, first of all, this is your first year here at Central Michigan University. How excited are you guys to be able to work with these fantastic facilities here in Mount Pleasant?
Oh, very excited. You know, Central Michigan, Derek Vandermeer, Associate Senior Athletic Director, and his staff, and Dan Enos and his coaching staff have literally bent over backwards for us to make things happen here. We were put in kind of a rough spot with a U2 concert at Spartan Stadium this weekend, which has been our home for 27 of the 31 games. So we came here, and so far it's been a great experience.
You mentioned it now, 31 years you guys have brought together some of the best talent in the state. How nice is it to have that kind of legacy and have the kids look forward? They know that this game is coming up. They want to be selected to be here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the names of some of the players that have played in this game. You know, Coach Enos last night talked about a relatively unknown guy that came to this game without a scholarship in 1997, played a great game and got a scholarship offer from Southern Illinois, and that guy turns out to be Bart Scott. So, you know, you look at the 2007 NFL Draft, the number 1 and number 5 picks overall, and Jake Long and Vernon Golston both have played in this game. So there is a tremendous legacy of talent that has come through.
How difficult is it the board of directors gets together and selects these two teams? How tough is that process? Because with only being able to pick one player from each team, it's got to be tough to figure out who's going to make it here to the game.
Yeah, with only 88, I mean, you're looking at 631 schools in the state that play football, 225,000 kids that play. You only get to pick 88 of them, 44 aside. So it is extremely difficult, and we have some pretty heated arguments. And you know, we always try to say we try to find the best 88, but every so often you do leave a couple kids out.
And how nice is it to see all the parents come down here, be with the kids. You get to see the coaches come in this weekend as well. They all seem to be having a very good time being a part of the festivities.
Yeah, just, you know, to see the great crowd that we have here today with the weather we have, and to have people come from all over the state to a central location, I think this is a great showcase for high school football in the state of Michigan.
Gus, thanks a lot for having us here. We really appreciate it, and thanks for putting on such a good show for us again this weekend.
All right, thank you, Rob.
It's Gus Kapolka. He is the director of the All-Star Game. We're going to take a quick break, talk to one of those coaching legends that we just mentioned. John Harrington will be joining us in just a couple of minutes. It is the East leading the West 16-7 here at the half at Central Michigan University in Mount Pleasant on Public TV.
Next we have George.
Participants in the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association All-Star Football Game have been nominated by their coaches and selected by a committee of the MHSFCA. Information at MHSFCA.com. The 31st Michigan High School Football All-Star Game is made possible by the UAW Center for Human Resources and General Motors, Meyer, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Sound Productions, and by these great sponsors. At MHSFCA.com, you can find information on scholarships, leadership awards, Hall of Fame membership, eligibility and recruiting information, and the Michigan High School football records. While you're there, check out the Hall of Fame with bios of past All-Stars. Information is also available for the 2012 Annual Professional Clinic held in Kalamazoo, January 19th through 21st. It's all at MHSFCA.com.
Association East-West All-Star Game. Yes, it's a mouthful, and it's been some great football. It is a 13-7 lead, the East squad over the West squad. I am joined by a legend in high school football here in the state of Michigan. Michigan Sports Hall of Famer, John Harrington from Farmington Hills, Harrison. I don't know why. I think I'm tongue-tied. I'm standing next to a legend here. I think it's getting to me.
Come on, Rob.
Coach Harrington from Farmington Hills, Harrison High School. 13 total state championships, Coach. Did you ever imagine the first time you put on those coaching shorts that you'd be standing here talking about 13 titles?
Never. We made it to the state finals in '76, and I figured that'd be the last time ever, and we lost. But it's been a good run, and I'm heading into my 50th year, so.
And still looking like you could probably go about another 50th. How does that sound?
I would be great. I hope so. 1 year at a time, we'll say right now.
Now, the 13th title for your squad came just this last season. It's probably like trying to say which of your kids you like better, but when you look back, there's just something special about every single one of those different championship teams, isn't there, Coach?
Absolutely, and I never put one ahead of the other, and they had a lot of great players at Harrison and a lot of great teams.
One of those great players at Harrison, Tommy Vento, was just in that last drive. He threw up that long bomb that led to the final field goal for the East there at the first half. How nice is it to see him out here?
Oh, it's fantastic. He's one of our best, a great leader, and he threw a couple there to the wrong colored jersey, and I was getting a little worried, but I knew he'd come through, and now he's hooking up and looking good.
Well, you've got some history with this game as well. Tell me about it. It was just a couple years ago that you were standing on these sidelines.
Oh, I'll tell you, it was great. I coached the first game in 1981 with Al Fracassa was our head coach, and none of us knew what we were doing with the All-Star game, and we practiced for 2 weeks. The game has come so far. It's just a tremendous game now and well organized, and we had to feel our way around, no question about it. But I still remember the score, 6-3. We won.
There you go. See, he always remembered the ones. You always remember the victories. Coach Harrington from Farmington Hills Harrison High School. Coach, how is it for these kids? I mean, you've been here for these games, and obviously plenty of your kids have played in them. Kind of getting that bond with players that they've played against, that were big rivals, and some of the friendships and bonds that happened during this week of practice.
Absolutely. It's the best. And I can talk about the players that I had. I still see them. A lot of them are coaches now, you know, Giarmo and those guys. They're lifelong friends. And they'll forget the score, and it won't matter who won or lost, truthfully, when it's all over. But they'll have great friendships forever.
Yeah, you notice that? He says they'll forget the score, and yet he remembers a game from 31 years ago.
That's true. Well, I'm a little different.
All right. John Harrington, the legendary head coach and Michigan Sports Hall of Famer from Farmington Hills Harrison High School. Thanks a lot for your time, Coach. Great to have you back here on the sidelines.
All right. Glad to be here, Rob. Thank you very much.
All right. It was a very fun first half of football. We'll send it back upstairs to Matt Shepard and Rob Rubick. Talk about that first half, guys.
All right, Rob, thank you very much. Boy, John Harrington has done such an unbelievable job at Harrison. Of course, his first job, though, was the junior varsity coach under Ron Holland at North Farmington High School. He's the only coach Harrison has ever known and has ever had, and one of his guys started this game today, but it's really Keith Moore to Jason Wilson who stole those first half highlights, don't you think?
Oh, it was. It was the combination of the strong-arm quarterback to the speedy receiver that really took over in the first half. A couple of connections of the long-range type of distance, and that's what we saw in the first half from this high-powered East offense. They sputtered at time, Mats. Early on, the timing wasn't there, the execution wasn't there, but eventually they got things ironed out, and that's when we saw the fireworks start.
Well, it started with a 60-yard touchdown pitch and catch. Moore to Wilson. Looked like a blown coverage.
Well, this one a little bit blown, Matt, but he was able to get by the defender. I think Chad Coleman was looking inside a little bit, but Jason Wilson, too much speed. He kept to the outside, and Keith Moore put the ball exactly where it needed to be. But then the West is going to have an answer. They're going to come back, and this time look at Luke Capon here. He scrambles as the quarterback Sovereign scrambles. He breaks his route down the field. A good job of communication by number 10 and number 11 from the West. And then once again, we can see the combination of Moore. Now, this was definitely the broken coverage, as no one is back with Jason Wilson. He's able to get down the sidelines, and he's difficult enough to cover when you're in the right coverage.
Yeah.
When you don't cover him, I guarantee he's going to get a touchdown. And then the scoring was ended after a nice play there, as you can see, getting down the field. Fletterin was able to make the catch to set up the last field goal. Then Aaron Berthette is able to kick the ball through for 3 points, which gives them the 16-7 lead, which they now enjoy at half.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far, the type of skill that has been on the football field at the same time for these kids who are about to go into their next football experience as freshmen, and you see that the East has kind of dominated offensively.
Well, they have, Matt, but if you take out the one broken coverage, which you can't, obviously, I mean, that's a 60-yard touchdown, it's pretty even. One turnover each, first downs are pretty close, third down efficiency. So the game is pretty even. I think that's right now the coaches on the West Side are saying is we're not out of this by any means. We're to come out here in the second half, reestablish what we're doing in the first half, try to get the first score, get it within a one-score game, and then see where the chips may fall after that.
Coaches always tell us that defense is ahead of offense when they break camp and get ready for the first regular season game. You would guess in an all-star game of this magnitude that defense would be ahead of offense, too.
Absolutely.
Are we seeing that here?
Absolutely. You can put defense. Defense is all about reading and reacting. The execution doesn't have to be there like it does in the offensive side of the football, where timing, handoffs, mesh points, everything comes into play on the offense side of the ball, where defense is pretty much, you're an athlete, you get out there, you read the ball, you flow, you do what you've been doing for the past 8 to 10 years of your life and make a play. And that's what we've seen so far here today.
You know, with that said, it's been amazing that the timing and just the little nuances that the game of football brings you, where these guys who haven't been working together very long have been able to really kind of feel out one another and be on the same page.
We have seen it. We've seen it a few times. We saw it on the Cape and touchdown where he read the quarterback.
Yeah.
We also saw it on a pop pass. I think I was a Fletterin where he read, who was in the quarterback at the time? Otto. I'm trying to think who it was, but they were on the they were on the same page. He looked back at the quarterback. He was uncovered in the slot. He went to the scene. The ball was delivered. So nice job. But those are things that these type of kids just can do.
Yeah.
They have that type of football IQ that they can adapt to the situation, and we've seen that a lot here in the first half.
Yeah, we see their skill on a play-by-play basis, but we also notice that they're really smart kids, not just in the classroom, but there's a difference, too. Football smart.
Yeah, and it doesn't always translate. Believe me, I've coached a few years, and you can take a kid with a 4-point, and they get on the football field, and he's looking at about a 2.0 at best because he doesn't think football. And you can vice versa. You take a kid with a 2-point, football-wise, he's a genius.
Yeah.
Some kids just have that feel. We've seen that here today. Let's talk a little bit about guys that have stood out. Obviously, Wilson and his speed on the sidelines, but I think defensively for the West, I think Ryan Hankins has been a disruptor up front, along with Zetto.
Yeah.
That's a good defensive front. Moore hasn't been able to get comfortable in the pocket. He did have the 2 big plays, and let's not forget one was a blown coverage. So I really like what I see there, and I like what I see with Miller, the running back. He's got some shake. He's got some strength.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Now the West has to make some adjustments. They've got to get back in this football game. These guys are all about competing. They're all about winning as well. And Rob Otto is with their head coach to find out what adjustments they can make for the second half. Rob?
Throwing it right down to us. Yep, thanks, Shep. Just joined here by Pete Skemmerhorn. Did I say that right, Coach?
You got it.
All right, good. I know I always get angry mothers call me when I mispronounce the kid's name, so I don't want your mom calling me either. From Portage Northern High School, he's the head coach here of the West. How tough is it to give up those couple of points right at the end of the first half like that?
Well, it's real tough. You know, all the points that they've scored right now are tough to give up because our defense front 7 has played very, very well against the run. They've done a nice job. Unfortunately, they've been able to break a few big plays, and that's hurt us.
How about that play that Sovereign made on the touchdown pass to keep the play alive and keep his eyes downfield?
Yeah, just reversed a route. Really nice job by the receiver and the quarterback to pick it up when the quarterback scrambles and we reverse a route. He made a nice throw.
All right, what adjustments maybe can you make at halftime, especially slow down Jason?
Yeah, we got to do something in our pass coverage to slow down their wideouts and stop the big plays, and then we got to get our running game going more consistently. It seems like we'll run a good one every now and then, but not consistently, and we think we can get that done. In the passing game, we got to find a way to get off their press coverage at our wide receiver spot, and if we can get off their press coverage, I think big plays are out there.
Well, pretty much goes back and forth, east-west, winning these games. It's supposed to be your year, right?
It's supposed to be our year, so I'm all right.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate a couple of minutes. The West is supposed to win the game this year. Just ask the East players. They all know it. Let's get it back upstairs to you, Shep.
All right, Rob, thanks. The thing about it, all-star games, I don't know if you can ever say there is a favorite, because as we spoke with coaches before today's kickoff, they looked at us and they said, well, all these guys are all-stars. And we said, we know that, but sometimes there are certain all-stars amongst all-stars who stick out. And that's what the West is hoping to do right now. And they'll first start with a guy by the name of Caleb Higbee, that guy you're looking at right there, who is a first-team All-Stater and a dream teamer out of DeWitt. Their quarterbacks need to get a little bit more comfortable, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They haven't played up to their expectations, their own personal expectations. But some of that is due to the pressure we've seen by this defensive front of the East. They get in the quarterback. They're very disruptive throughout the course of the game. You know, you look at Thieker, Richardson, Neff, Yakubi. These are guys that have gotten into the backfield and done some good things. And we take a look at the East quarterback as well.
Keith Moore, who's had a really good first half with those 2 touchdown passes to Jason Wilson. Keith Moore, a standout for Thomas Wilcher at Cass Tech and that brand new building downtown. And they're in the midst of tearing down the old building that has so many memories. And Keith Moore left Cass Tech with a lot of really good memories as the first PSL quarterback to make it to this all-star game. So now it's up to the East defense and perhaps their offense too to try and hold on to this lead while the West does what it can to try and get back in this thing. You know, they were talking about the banquets between these two teams, and how they all got together and had dinner and they talked about their high school experiences and so on and so forth. It's difficult to pick out one specific guy, but for the East, they chose Rabia Beydoun to speak at the banquet because of his charisma and his high energy. A guy who will be playing at Grand Valley State next year, just exudes enthusiasm for the game of football and how much he truly enjoys playing this game, and did so very well at Fordson. Meanwhile, Onaje Miller showed off a lot of his skill in that opening half and did a lot of really good things, not only running the football, partner, but blocking as well. Did a really nice job in that regard, and of course a full-time tailback has to be able to do more than just tote the rock a little bit.
Yeah, he's a complete player. We saw him pick up a couple blitzes as well. He was able to seal the edge on one scramble by the quarterback. And we talked at halftime about the quarterbacks on the East really shining. You know, we've seen what Keith Moore has done. Also, you know, Tommy Vento, and I have to apologize a little bit. I think I called him Joey Votto, but I'm a big baseball fan. If he's as good as Joey Votto, then he's going to have a nice career.
He'll be really good.
But Tommy Vento, and I had to say that because Coach Harrington, after the interview at halftime, and I've done numerous of Coach's state championship games. I had a chance at Drew Stanton had a golf outing about 10 days ago in Lansing for his foundation. And I love getting Coach Harrington because all he wants to do is talk trivia. Doesn't care what, it could be sports, television, trivia, whatever it is. But talk about a grandpa type of dude. He's solid.
He's a great guy, and he visited with Rob Otto. Rob Otto's got an update, though, on an injury that took place in that first half. Partner, Rob?
Yeah, just very quickly, guys. Number 20 for the East, Laurent Jadou, got a little dinged up. They were working on his shoulder and also taking a look at his leg in the first half. He got a little bit of treatment at halftime. We'll see if he can get back out on the field here in the second half.
All right, well, he was wearing 20 in white. Laurent Jadou from Brother Rice, headed to Northern Michigan University. Brother plays at Wayne State. We'll see. We saw a good shot of him right there without the shoulder pads.
Better get used to that ice, too.
Yeah.
He's going to Northern. He'll be permanent ice for the next 5 years.
That's a good point. The West All-Stars will have the opportunity to return this kick on Onaje Miller and try to get back on the scoreboard. And he stumbles past the 25, all the way up past the 30-yard line for a nice gain to start the second half.
And there's one of the rules that's a little bit different in the All-Star game compared to a regular high school football game. When the ball crosses the plane of the goal line, you cannot return it out of the end zone. Although in the All-Star game, where they're trying to create big plays and some excitement, it is allowed. And we saw what Miller is capable with, about a 34-yard return.
Miller in that first half, 9 carries. He led everybody in this All-Star game with 9 carries. Caleb Higbee, who started the game for the West as the signal caller, takes back over to start this third. 2 for 2 in the opening half, and he will start with a roll to the right and a nice job to maneuver his way to the 36-yard line. And a late flag on the play because there's some pushing and shoving going on from the big fellas up front.
Trying to get a number. I don't know if that was Cody Gorman, number 64 for the East. Doing a little pushing and shoving with maybe Kenny Rogers on the West.
Football penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Offsetting penalties. There's a look at it right there. It is Kenny Rogers in the red. And it is
right on the left.
Yep.
Right on the left of the screen. Tell you what, the gambler, you got to really appreciate that. 2 guys really playing to the whistle. You talk about playing to the whistle. Both those young men really kept at it. Rogers on his block and Cody Gorman staying with it too. A little pushing. There's no problem. Nothing cheap there. No one took a cheap shot. I can, as a head coach now, Now, why they do this is beyond me. Now, this is one thing I got to find out. They mark 15 yards one way, and then they walk it back 15 yards. A little bit redundant, isn't it, Matt? Let's just take under consideration that's probably going to be in the same spot when it comes back.
That's a little extra exercise for the officials out there. Rogers, by the way, both those guys, big guys, Kenny Rogers and Cody Gorman, 6'6", 260 and 6'4", 255 respectively. Rogers, the offensive lineman who plays left guard for the West All-Stars, will be playing right here at Central Michigan. He's considered the number 35 blue chip, according to the Detroit News, of all seniors. Quarterback draw for Caleb Higbee, but nothing there on that first down play, so no gain for him.
Well, they're running some inside zone read with Higbee now, more of a running quarterback. If we get a chance, we'll draw up one of these plays, what he's looking at with the one back set. And this is one of the big plays we're seeing a lot, the inside zone, the outside zone, and puts a little bit of pressure on your quarterback. They have to be able to read the defensive tackle. But Higbee is used to doing that at DeWitt, where they used to putting up big numbers on the scoreboard offensively.
Well, you know what's interesting is the two quarterbacks, one for the West, Higbee, the other for the East, who's had the big day, Keith Moore, will both be competing for the quarterback job at Saginaw Valley next year, or this fall, I should say. And Higbee on a second down and long. Deep drop, sets up the middle screen. Miller's got it, and he's got some room, too, using the speed, shifting his way just outside the 40 numbers to get to the 41. He is tripped up there on a really nice defensive play by Courtney Williams from Melvindale High School.
This is the middle zone, which we saw earlier, a little screen, rather. He throws it. Has to lob the ball high, Higbee, because of the fact the defense hadn't come at him enough. You want to invite them back to the quarterback. That time they kind of sniffed out. They kind of stopped halfway. He was still able to get the ball over the top to Miller. But as you said, Courtney Williams, number 4, did a really good job showing lateral speed, making that play with a lot of field left for Miller.
3rd down and 4, a long 4 for the West, who trail by 9. Caleb Higbee out of the gun. Going to run for it, and he's not going to get it. He reached out, but he needed to get to about on the other side of the 45. He's going to be shy.
Well, Caleb Higbee's finding out what a lot of quarterbacks do when they get to this game, or maybe in the fall when they get to their respective colleges. They all can run on the other side of the football. Everyone is fast. Those plays he's used to making at DeWitt High School, where he scrambles, gets out the side of the pocket, and it makes 15, 20-yard runs. You just don't get that here, because the guys on the defensive side of the football are all fast. They're all good open field players, and they're just not getting the big plays in the scramble game right now.
Here's Jared Barton. Remember, he had a fake punt earlier and rambled 29 yards for a first down. A good punt that is finally fielded, and what coverage downfield. Second time we talked about Justin Curry's ability as a special teamer. A 41-yard boot, and Curry made sure it was a -6 on the return game.
Well, Curry, he may not even run special teams the entire year, but he's doing a great job. He's at the let's pause it right here. He's coming from the right side. He's the hawk, and a late decision to pick the ball up, ill-advised, but 27 keeps coming. Curry does a nice job. Good open field, long arm.
Well, he's got good speed. He is Big Rapids High School's single season all-time rushing leader. Keith Moore takes over as the quarterback for the East, and his hard count had Ryan Hankins jumping off sides, I believe.
Well, the two top tacklers in the first half of the West, Zetto and Hankins, kind of did synchronized penalties at times. They both jumped into the neutral zone.
Hankins, a 2-year starter both on the offensive line and defensive line for Jake Emmendorfer's Davison High School club. 3-year lacrosse player, also wrestled for a year.
Big lacrosse player.
Oh, yeah. And those are 3 sports right there where you got to love contact. Moore on a quarterback draw, shifting his way to the 20-yard line. It's basically a free play for the quarterback, who looks like he might have enough, if not just a yard or a football shy of moving the chains. Second down and 1 for the East, who leads it 16-7. Keith Moore with a couple of touchdown tosses in the opening half, both to Jason Wilson.
Situation offensively, may want to take a shot down the field. You're going to have Wilson man-to-man with Monette up top.
Trips to his right. Moore looks for Wilson. A double move, and Monette was stride for stride with him. It's not bad coverage.
Yeah, and you see the 3 receivers to the right side. You have Wilson isolated on Monette. And Monette's, he just looks like a guy, well, we can beat him. Doesn't look real fast. He's not very muscular, not real big, but he's a football player. And they did get behind him on the 1, as we said in the first half, but that was an assignment thing. They didn't beat him physically. good cover skills, because Jason Wilson can run now.
Well, you know,
and he was pretty much
the thing
stride
with
for stride
Dylan
on his
Monette.
hip.
You know what he does? I mean, he makes up for certain lack of skills in other areas,
Right.
doesn't
If you can think things process a little bit quicker, it makes up for just maybe a step slower.
Now this is an important down for him. 3rd down and short, and that second effort will move the chains. Good job bouncing his way for that 1st down. That's Dewan Lewis, from Pershing High School.
Well, you just keep rolling downhill. You see Lewis gets hit once, spins, gets hit again, double hit, but he's able to keep his body lean forward motion and move the chains.
Dewan Lewis will play at Northwood this fall. Honorable mention All-Stater as a junior, but because of his defense, not because of his offense. 1st down and 10. Moore still has it. They string it out, but his speed gets him to the edge and tiptoes his way to the 30-yard line. They'll give him 8 and bring up 2nd down and short. Dylan Monette forced him out of bounds.
Now, if you play this team week in, week out, you scout them, you can take a look right here. You see the offensive linemen, they kind of give it away that they're going to down block with their stance, but then he's going to pull the ball, let it go, and then he's going to take it to the outside. But these are things now, if you're scouting this game and you get a chance to watch them on film, you can pick these tendencies up. But you haven't seen this team play, so you don't really know your opponent's stance. But sitting up here, it's kind of fun because you can kind of pre-predict things that are going to happen.
4 wide receivers set for Moore, and he'll just throw it away. That's a wise move. Sometimes
that's an intentional grounding.
It is intentional grounding.
This isn't college. Now, next year he can do that.
Yep. You got to know the
break
difference.
The pocket. I believe in college, can't you? I know in the pros you can. I watch the Lions do that on Sunday. You know, he sees a guy, Matt Stafford, scramble out and just throw the ball away outside of harm's way. But this is high school football.
Right.
I think the ref's saying, you know what, Mr. Moore, in a couple years you'll be able to do that. But
well,
right
I was
now,
going to say
it's
a smart
yards.
move, because sometimes the best pass is an incomplete pass or a throwaway, but not in this case. It's a loss of down on the intentional grounding by Keith Moore. Need to stay between the tackles. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 12.
You see, on my PlayStation or my Xbox, I can do that.
That's right.
Let's try to get. We got twins both ways coming to the ball. Now we haven't seen the screen game from the east so far. Wouldn't be surprised when we try to see him.
Not on this play. He's looking downfield. He's lofting downfield, and it is incomplete.
Great catch,
receiver Ryan Fabry from Crosswell, Lexington. That's a tough catch for a wide receiver.
We got a great look here. He needs one. Now he's going to be in bounds initially. Now that foot's already out, and he doesn't have possession. He does get possession right there, but the foot was already established out of bounds before the ball arrived. So what excellent call by the official.
Yep.
That's why they're here as well.
Sure looked like that ball, as he was trying to haul it in, hit the ground anyway.
Yeah, but it was a pretty nice throw. Got to give him a little more boundary to work with. But Fabry comes up with a great catch, or almost a catch rather,
and a nice effort too.
From a small school in the thumb, Croswell, Lexington.
Aaron Mick fumbled it, and a flag on the play, and then he's thrown aside. Wrapped up by Brad Horling from Zeeland East. Let's see what the flag is.
We saw the West get penalized earlier on a turnover. I think it's going to be a holding call on the offense.
Good job by Horling not giving up on the play. A lot of times when you see a flag, a guy immediately stops. Horling made sure he wrapped up the punter, Aaron Mick.
They may be saying that they blitzed on it, which I don't think they can.
Well, I don't know how many you're allowed to rush on a punt situation, but it could be how many guys came through on the punt and they just checked it on the sidelines with one of the MHS FCA officials. Yeah, they're calling it probably legal use of the formation.
Well, lack of a better word, maybe this is just a blitz that they're not supposed to be doing.
Let's take a look on our left here. Let's see how many Let's see when the linebacker, okay, let her go. Let's see when the linebackers come, sure. Boy, I don't see any. But I don't know who's designated, how many on each side, if you're allowed 3 on each side. Let's go to the replay booth. Rob Otto, you think we should send it up to the replay booth? We could send you up here quickly and have you make that quick decision.
I could try. What they're saying was it was a dead ball personal foul is what they're saying. So I don't know if they blew the play dead when he was in the grasp and then he threw him down to the ground.
The flag came way before the punter even picked up the ball. No, the play was going on.
It's a dead ball personal foul is what they call down here. I'm not exactly sure where that explanation came from.
It could be like unsportsmanlike because of if they feel they brought a blitzer, that would fall under the unsportsmanlike or personal foul. But maybe we get an explanation on the first break of action.
Well, it's a break for the East, that's for sure. And Keith Moore can now take dead aim with his club already up by 9. He'll throw on a quick curl route. It's caught at the 41-yard line by Ray Tillman. First time we've seen the senior from Avondale haul one in.
You know, Matt, you look at the statistics sheet and you'll see that only 1 turnover by the West squad. But in my book, I say 3. Because you have 2 change of possessions in this game where the West was going to get the ball, and because of a penalty, the East was able to retain it.
Both on special teams.
Both on special team plays. So, to me, they've had 3 turnovers here today, and that's the big difference. You'd had the ball on the 1-yard line.
One was an offsides.
Right.
And then this.
Unsportsmanlike.
That's a pickup of 7. Moore to Tillman, and it's 2nd down and 3. Moore throws it, and it's a nice grab on the sideline by Matt Smith, the tight end from Hudson High School, for a first down. Smith, who played for Chris Luma and will play at Northern Michigan this fall.
48-yard line, 7 yards, and that pass play, first down.
Good look here. Nice job, Keith Moore, looking down the field, just throwing a little bit of a sidearm throw. Not your prototypical type of quarterback delivery, but pretty accurate. Now we're getting an explanation over the public address system that they did call too many rushers on the punt. And get Rob Otto doing his homework downstairs. Maybe you can find out exactly how many you can have. You're allowed, if you're allowed to rush 4 or 5, but we could do a head count later on.
Matt
guys,
Smith,
it's
part of Hudson's state championship team in 2010, a runner-up in 2009. Moore with a give inside and wrestled down immediately. There's Anthony Zettel again that we talk about at a -5 on the play as Porter tried to get to the outside. Rob Otto.
Yeah, guys, you had the call the whole time. Too many rushers. The rule is on a punt, you can only bring your 2 edge guys. What happened was the West had 5 guys across the line of scrimmage even before the punter dropped the ball. Any of those rules violations are automatic dead ball fouls in 15 yards.
Good explanation. Thanks, Rob.
And that's the right call. You can see here they're bringing 3 guys to the left side. I mean, you can see 3 red shirts coming, and they're only allowed to bring the outside guy on each side of the line of scrimmage, or each side of the line. So that's an easy penalty call for the officials and the correct call.
Now another flag on the play. The East All-Stars with illegal motion.
Now this game has kind of turned into a Rob Otto 40-yard dash here. It's not moving very fast. Too many penalty calls.
I'll tell you this, though. Rob is breaking a sweat moving from sideline to sideline to get those interviews and the information. I'll tell you that. He's got those track shoes on. 2nd down and 20 now for Keith Moore. Moore and Tommy Vento are the quarterbacks for the East. They decided who would start the game by going rock, paper, scissors. And Vento won. Moore floats it, and it's caught at the 45-yard line by Ryan Fabry.
Well, Fabry getting involved in the offense here a little bit more in the second half. He's just going to come out of the slot and run a deep out route. And Keith Moore, we're going to see a little bit of a sidearm delivery, kind of short strokes it there, but as I said earlier, he's accurate. And if I'm a quarterback coach at the college level, it's one of those things, you try to tweak them, but you don't change them. You try to maybe improve a little bit, get his arm slot a little bit higher, but you don't try to change the young man. He's effective the way he does it.
You know what else I like? I like that he's completed passes to Shane Van Fletteren, Ryan Fabry, Ray Tillman, Jason Wilson, Matt Smith. He's really spread the wealth for his offense, keeping them involved. 3rd down and 13 now for Moore. Trips to his left. He'll look that way. Now across the middle, and he's chased from the pocket by Zettel, who swung and missed at him. The throw, it's caught inside the 25. Tillman will score. Touchdown, East.
So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We saw the same touchdown the West did earlier to Luke Capon. Keith Moore is going to do the same thing on this play. He's going to buy himself time. Zettel chasing him, showing him the speed. He stays in bounds. Look like he's going to go out of bounds. Instead, he stays in bounds. He keeps working down the field, and he's able to find the wide open Ray Tillman, who does a good job, as Capeman did, of coming shallow, but when the quarterback comes to you, he peels, he goes down and gets behind the defenders. Running quarterbacks, man, if they can keep their head up, buy time, extend the play, it's a defense's worst nightmare.
Aaron Berthette on for the extra point. Aaron Mick, the holder. Cody Richardson, the long snapper. And the kick is good. 3 touchdown passes, courtesy of Keith Moore. 1 of 60, 1 of 68, and the latest to Ray Tillman covers 55 yards. And the East All-Stars are on top by 16.
Well, I don't know if we get an MVP vote for the game, but I could cast mine early, I think, here. We're looking at him. Keith Moore, obviously, you know, you look at Jason Wilson with a couple long touchdowns. But this, you're going to get a look here at why this quarterback is special. We talk about his accuracy, but his mobility. We're going to get an end zone look here. Look what the defense is seeing. He's in the pocket, not there. Now he goes out. Now all the defense starts sliding with him. But look at him keep his eyes up. That's really impressive. 9 out of 10 quarterbacks are just going to head for the sidelines, go out of bounds, or maybe dip their shoulder, try to get a yard. He keeps looking down the field and allows his receivers to keep working to make a play.
I think Tillman and Wilson, who was also in that picture right there that you saw, also had an opportunity to move downfield and give his quarterback an option. Rob Otto is with the honorary captain, former Central Michigan Chippewa, Chicago Bears draft pick, Dan Bazine. Rob?
Yeah, Shep down here with the former Chippewa, Dan Bazine. And Dan, this is a game you are familiar with. You played in this game a few years back.
Yep, I played in the East-West game in 2002. Had a great time, met a lot of great people, so it's good to be back.
What kind of an honor was it when they first called you up and said, hey, would you be the honorary captain for this year's game?
Well, it was a great honor for me because, you know, out of the 88 guys who play in this every year, you know, they chose me to be the honorary captain. So it means a lot to me, and it's a great honor.
All right, let's watch this next play here, and then we'll get right back to you, Dan.
Is Dan a McBain grad? I'm trying to think where he went to high school. We have to ask him out, Rob, or you get a chance. I believe he's from McBain, up north. Small town up towards Traverse City, Cadillac. But a great player at Central Michigan. We had a chance to cover him, didn't we, Shep, for 3 years? He had a motor, I'll tell you that.
He could play.
He's a lot like Zettel. You see this Zettel kid. He reminds me of Dan Bazine. He plays inside. He's a big, tall kid, but, man, he'll hunt you down.
Bazine, one of the best defensive linemen the Mid-American Conference has ever had. Caleb Higbee wants to throw, and he wants a big chunk, and he gets a big chunk. A nice haul in by TK Kuvaruno. Back down to Rob Otto and Dan Bazine. Rob?
Yeah, and you can see Dan wearing the West jersey. That's the team that he played for. They were asking you about your high school. You went to McBain. Where's that at?
That's about an hour north and west of here in Mount Pleasant.
And as it, you know, obviously your West squad's got some work to do, but it's nice to see them moving the ball down the sideline.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a nice catch on the last one. Yeah, it's good to see the West playing pretty well out here today.
All right, Dan, thanks a lot for your time, buddy. We appreciate it. Dan Bazine, former Chippewa and this year's honorary captain.
All right, Rob, thanks. Good to see him back, and it's probably good to see him back for many Chippewa fans as well. They try to set up the screen, and it is sniffed out right away. And what a play made, too, by Mike Keith, that linebacker who is the captain of this defensive squad from De La Salle and who will play at Northwood. A dream team selection in 2010 and 134 tackles. That set the single season record at De La Salle High School.
Well, we're seeing kids from, you know, Northwood, Northern, Saginaw, Grand Valley, Central, Western, Toledo, Bowling Green, I believe I heard you say,
Pennsylvania,
Michigan State, Michigan. They're from
going
all
to Penn
over.
State.
Yeah, Elmhurst. Yeah. So not, you know, a lot of going within the state of Michigan. That's what I like to see. Recruit our own home first.
Yep. Some Michigan State grads like Damon Knox, Desmond Morgan, the middle linebacker is going to the University of Michigan. Here's where some of these guys are going. We've got a Georgetown Hoya as well, of course.
That's not the Hoyas. That's Georgetown, Kentucky. I know, because that's where Bruce McNorton, a teammate of mine, played.
Well, Jim Schwartz played at Georgetown. Oh, what a hit as Miller tried to get to the 30-yard line and took a shoulder-to-shoulder collision there. Here's some more of where a lot of these players are headed.
Pretty impressive.
I think Grand Valley is most represented. Of course, you've got Syracuse. We talked about the University of Michigan. That's Desmond Morgan, who you heard from earlier today. Chippewa is well represented here as well.
And here's one that's kind of neat. You look at Siena Heights. They're just starting a program. They will be, this year they've been like under probation or put like a JV schedule and so forth. They'll have full varsity schedule next year.
That's just outside Ann Arbor for those of you wondering.
Concordia as well down there. Two teams that just started football in Michigan, which will be kind of neat.
Higbee has all kinds of time. Now he runs out of it and runs out of a tackle as well. But there's white jerseys everywhere, and finally Firuz Yakubi, who missed on the first but stuck after it, got him. A loss of 10 on the play.
Higbee does his darndest to make something out of nothing here. Drops back, initially wants to throw the ball, not there, pulls it down, still looking. Comes one invader, then another one. They just keep coming. And these are the type of kids, they're not going to miss you and lie on the ground and watch the play. They are here because they're the type of kids that once they miss you, they're going to get up and try to get you. They don't quit on a play. And it's just difficult for a quarterback like Higbee, who depends so much, Matt, on his athleticism, his mobility in the pocket, his scrambling ability to make plays with his legs as well as his arms. Well, because of this team's speed on the defense, it really negates one of his options.
East All-Stars call a timeout. If you're the West All-Stars, you're down 23-7. You're trying your best to make something happen. Is it too early to abandon your running game? I mean, it seems like they're throwing on almost every play.
And this play it is. But, yeah, I think you're right, Matt. I think they really went away from it. But with these defensive fronts, and as you said at halftime when we talked, is a very good point. Defenses are ahead of offenses. When you go to training camp, or you go to college camp in the fall, and it's no different here in this 1 week. The defenses are ahead of the offenses. So it's tough to establish a running game. You would like to, but it's easier just to kind of spread the field, hope you can protect a little bit, and sling it around. But the West hasn't had any success getting behind the defense of the East, where the East has, in turn, got behind the West defense.
Jared Barton will step back to punt it away for the West. And he will kick it to Donnell Carithers. Carithers inside the 10. Anything over his head, he does not want to field. Usually you'll see a punt returner put his heels on the 10. There's already been one fake punt. This one is angled for the sideline, and a good job to pin it inside the 10. They will march it off to the 10-yard line. That's a nice job.
And we saw
Jared Barton.
We saw the other option early on. We saw the fake punt, or actually it's kind of like a read fake punt, where Barton's going to scramble out in the rugby-style punt. And if the defense is there, then he punts away, as we just saw there. Early on, he was able to get the corner, and he ran for the first down. I really innovative, and I like it, because the old-fashioned stand in the pocket, punt it up and high to a guy that's skilled at what he does. That's being a return man, giving him the ball in space. Why not make him move laterally, try to pick up a rolling, bouncing, crooked ball, and buy yourself time when you scramble, allows your coverage team to get down the field as well.
Also forces their defense to move, too. Instead of going north and south, they're forced to move east and west. There's the handoff to Terrell Porter. A pickup of a couple. Tommy Vento is back in at quarterback for the East. Well, we had a chance to get to know some of these players. Kenny Rogers, starting offensive lineman for the West All-Stars, and a guy who will be playing here at Central Michigan, feels quite honored to be part of today's festivities.
Yeah, a lot of the guys, it's their last time playing a football game, so I mean it's a big deal. For other people, it's you get to play the best players in the state, so you're playing the best competition you can, and that's the big thing too. Yeah, we do. We want to get the win. We want to get the W. So I think a big thing is going to be team chemistry. See how good we can get it in 1 week and put it in for the game this Saturday. This game's a good thing for when you're going to college to play, and you also have other teammates that are going to the same college as you that are here, so you can bond with them before you go up, and you already have that bond when you're there.
That's a good point by Kenny Rogers, who will be attending Central Michigan here. Now, He talked about wanting to get the win. Every one of these guys realizes that this is a showcase, but they also have grown up being the most competitive guys in their family, in their class, in their school, things like that. It's not sitting well with him and the West All-Stars as time ticks down at the end of the third, that they're on the losing end of a 23-7 score right now. And it was almost a lot more because Vento had Ben McCord open, but he couldn't haul it in. And speaking of teammates, McCord will be one of Kenny Rogers' teammates here at Central Michigan.
And what a pass by Vento that time, rolling to his left. Really a one-man route. They sold the play action, the run very heavily. They were able to release McCord, who ran a nice route, shows good downfield speed and getting separation. The ball hit him right in the hands. And
it's a big target.
Yeah, you got to feel for him. He's frustrated. He's going to release from the left tight end position. They just max protect behind it, and boy, that's a beautiful, beautiful ball.
Yeah, it sure is. So good field position for the West. Sometimes punting is okay. There's a flag on the play. Usually indicates holding against the East. It'll be interesting to see if the West wants them to re-kick it or not. You talk about field position sometimes. Remember when the West had to punt it back? They punted away. They pinned him inside the 10. That's all about field position, not necessarily about always pushing the envelope.
And I think they're going to make him punt it again. I think they're going to get Cody Ross, number 5, for holding. He was on the left side. We know now that only 2 people can come. We're going to get a look at here. We're going to pause it right off the stop so I can highlight him a little bit. On the left side, see number 5 grabbing him right here. He's going to grab when the back of the guy rushing faces the punter, you know you've spun him. You grabbed his jersey and spun him around. That's Cody Ross. You can let it go there. He gets hit with the penalty, and I would make him punt it again, especially in a game like this. These are the execution things you talk about, Matt. Make a team punt. These are what you work on in special teams in practice. I got to believe they don't have as much time during the course of this week to spend as they would like on the special team preparation. So you have to get the long snap. You have to get the punt off, catch it.
Well, remember, last time Aaron Mick was back to punt, even though there was a penalty on it, he did fumble the snap. So why not try and make him stay perfect again?
Cody Ross almost, there it is.
Shanked. But it does take an east bounce. But they'll pick up about, 20 yards on that play by making them punt it again. So a good decision on the part of the West All-Stars. We have an opportunity to get back in this one. They're down 23-7 with 38 seconds remaining in the third.
Justin Curry, the right rush end that time, number 27. He was lobbying for another penalty. Looked like Cody Ross might have grabbed him again. But now there's got to be a little bit more urgency here. East far from out of this game, but they need, there are 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions, or West rather. Far from out of this game, but they need to do something here. Their drives are going to be fewer and far between.
I formation behind Higbee, who fumbles the snap and picks it up and actually got something out of it. Nathan Thieker made the tackle, the Lakeland grad who will be playing at Wayne State and All-State and a dream teamer as well. Played for John Maltese at Lakeland. Higbee wants to hurry up probably. He's played the entire third. You might see Max Sovereign come in and play the fourth. Just because these coaches both understand they want to get as many reps as possible for all their players. But they won't get this play off. We will head to the fourth with the West unable to solve the East defense mystery. They remain down 23-7, but they have a short field to work with. Let's see if they can get it done as we begin the fourth quarter. And the East All-Stars now, of course, raise 4 fingers in unison, knowing that they got to finish this off.
Yeah, they like to do that because teams say the fourth quarter belongs to us because of our training and our conditioning. But I guarantee neither of these teams done that much of that conditioning during the course of this week. There's too much time that you need for preparation of just execution, running the plays and assignment. But if I'm the West right now, I got to go with a 4 wide out set, spread the field a little bit, and throw the ball deep and outside. Maybe you run the outside guys on some go routes, run your slot receivers on some deep outs or corners, but you got to try to get the ball vertical down the field, get some chunk plays. The passes they have completed, they've tried that middle screen numerous times and had a little bit of success with it, but nothing that's really hurt this East defense.
All right, Rob Otto.
Well, you were just talking about that East defense. How about Firouz Yakubi from Dearborn High School? Big fumble recovery in the first quarter when they could have taken the lead, and then you had a nice sack there in the third quarter and another one of their drives. Defense really stepping up for you guys today.
Yeah, for sure. Bringing the D-line pressure, especially because we can't do much. Just we got to play the gap, play tough, get in there.
How has it been for you guys working with this coaching staff and trying to plug this D in?
It's been tough, especially because they limited us defensively. Like, they don't want us stopping the offense. They want to be a high-scoring game. It's got to be tough, play with all our heart, get each other's backs, and do our job, and we got it.
So because of that, to hold the West to just 7 points through 3 quarters, it's got to be a nice little chip on your shoulder.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We don't like them scoring.
All right, Bruce, thanks a lot for your time, man. Appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the way. You know, Yakubi, that defensive line, Rob, is really doing a number out there today.
Yeah, they are. You know, Firouz, a 28 ACT guy, and I talked to him prior to the game. He's going to Penn University in the Ivy League, and I asked him, I told him I teach up in Lapeer West with his uncle, Mr. Rothgeb. He had no idea what I was talking about. Finally, he came back up to me. I was talking. He goes, "You mean Uncle Dean?" I'm like, "You have a 28 ACT? You don't even know your uncle's last name?" Because his uncle brags about him all the time, being a state shot put champ and
he didn't
going
want
to
you
Penn
to say
and
that
28
on the air,
ACT.
Mark.
I know,
he
but
did not want other people to know that.
Firouz, come on.
There is a new quarterback in, by the way, for the West All-Stars, Max Sovereign. He went 5 for 8 in the opening half. Did have a touchdown pass to Luke Capon. That was a holding call on the part of the defensive backfield, Donnell Carithers, for the East.
Maybe got caught with a double move, you think, Shep?
Yeah, maybe.
Capon maybe give him a little out move and Carithers bit and you grab. And I don't mind that as a penalty. As a defensive backfield coach, I'll take that instead of a touchdown.
Sovereign's had a good game so far. Let's see if he can engineer another touchdown drive. Stands tall, floats it for the corner. Contact made. Oh, what a grab! And touchdown! Mike Weeks carries the defensive back into the end zone. That is strength right there.
Exactly what the doctor ordered for the West team. Mike Weeks, he did a lot of things well on this play. And we're going to get a look at number 30. We got ISO on him. First, good job using his hands. Now as the defender closes, he gets away a little bit of a push, but he attacks the ball at its highest point, catches the ball in his hands, and then keeps his base, gets into the end zone. That's just got a little genetic advantage there. You know, Weeks just a little bit bigger than the defensive back in that situation. I think that was that Carithers, 28? Yeah, no, not the tallest in stature, 5'7". So Weeks the much bigger target.
Good strength, huh?
6'2". Go up and over.
They're going to go for the 2-point conversion here. Sovereign, good play action, hit right away, and it is caught, but that's not going to be complete. Tyler Havens had it for a moment, but even if he holds that in, the football is not cross or past the goal line.
And you see, in that situation, making the play was Marquez Goldman. Now that's a corner, that's a blitz.
Yeah.
But as you said, in the red zone or on an extra point, no rules. There's no formation defensive you have to stick to. So that time they roll the dice, they bring the cornerback Goldman off the edge, and it just happened to work out that way. As soon as the quarterback rolls that way, Sovereign, there was Goldman right in his face.
Well, they Sovereign with his second touchdown pass of the afternoon for the West. Mike Weeks hauls it in, and Weeks is one of those guys that West All-Star head coach Pete Skirmerhorn told us no one's been able to cover him all week in practice. Super fast and super good hands. I mean, he's caught everything that has come his way, and today he made a really nice play to get the East All-Star, the West All-Stars rather, to within 10. Carithers and Baydoun are back deep to receive the kickoff from Mitch Bradbury.
These jersey numbers, I guess I'm getting older. I had a hard time. I thought it was 23 on the coverage that time instead of 28, and I'm looking in trying to get a fix on it. But Carithers competes. Any idea where he's going, partner?
He's going to, he's unsure right now.
Okay.
But he played at E-Course and played an awful lot of offense, too. He was an honorable mention All-State running back. Here's a short pooch kick that is fielded and run out to the 32-yard line.
Get back to the extra point, partner. That's a pretty important defensive stop.
Sure was.
He could have cut it to a one-possession game. Instead, East still enjoys a 2-possession game. Now we talked about that running game. I wouldn't be surprised to see the East come out and try to establish at least on first and second down. But this game really mirrors what we're seeing in not only the professional, the college, and now at the high school level. It's becoming more and more of a passing game, especially at the bigger schools. You know, at the smaller schools, you'll still see the wing T and a lot of the run, but you see more of the spread offense, inside, outside zone read, but spreading the field, slinging the ball around.
So Keith Moore, who has been able to sling the ball around for 3 touchdowns so far today, including 2 to Jason Wilson, is back in control. An inside give to Porter, and he's met immediately and dumped immediately.
Now Porter, the ball carrier. Desmond Morgan made the tackle.
Rob Otto ready to talk with Mike Weeks, the star of that last play. Rob?
Yeah, guys, Mike Weeks, Mr. Touchdown down here for the West squad. How'd you keep on your feet on that one, Mike?
Oh, man, it's all about weight room. You got to keep in the weight room. Get those legs.
How was it to keep that play alive and keep your team alive in this football game, Mike?
Man, it all comes down to the fourth quarter. Got to step things up. All-star. This is the All-Star game. You got to be an All-Star.
You're pretty intense, Mike. You're ready to get back out there.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. This game's not over yet.
Game's not over. Mike Weeks says so. Let's get it back up to you, Shep.
You know, it's interesting, Rob. He said the weight room. Now, you think wide receiver, you don't always think leg work in the weight room, do you? You think of guys being able to get off jams, swim moves to get downfield, and yet he talked about the leg work in the weight room.
Well, it's a pretty common known fact that the stronger your legs are, the faster you can get them moving, and kids forget that. They all want to bench press 300 pounds, where if you ask any high school coach, they'll take the squat man, the guy that can power clean any day before the bench press, because it translates into better football skill set.
Here's 3rd down and 8. Moore with a pump fake and going downfield. Monet with a great breakup. Wow. Dylan Monette really did a nice job at the last moment to locate the football and knock it away. Otherwise, that is another touchdown for Ray Tillman.
That's an FP. That's a football player. You look at the last break, times his jump perfectly. We talk about ball skills, underthrown. Wow. If the ball is thrown with a little bit more air, it's probably going to be a touchdown, but Monette makes the best out of a bad situation, locates it, and finds it. And we saw that in the state championship game 4 or 5 times, just really good ball hawk.
Boy, that's a huge play, isn't it? And that's a guy who, you know, he doesn't put his head down. He's beat by a step or two, doesn't put his head down. Instead, he locates the football and makes a play. Really well done.
I think he's a kid that you put a few pounds on him, he's going to be, I don't know if he can play corner at the next level as much, but boy, I think he could be a good safety someday. Yeah. Because he's got the smarts, he's got the range, he's got the really good football feel.
Good leader as well. He's an all-state cornerback. Aaron Mick to punt it away. High kick that doesn't turn over and gets a kind bounce. This one will waffle inside the 25, down at the 23-yard line. A 42-yard boot by Aaron Mick, but maybe most importantly, no return.
We haven't really seen a sustained drive by either team here this afternoon. It's been big plays, big pass plays. Gotten the ball down the field and some untimely penalties on some change of possessions.
You saw the East move down at the end of the half, but that ended in a field goal.
You're right. It was through the air mostly, and I think more through the athleticism of their fine quarterback in that series. He just made some plays that, as a defensive coordinator, you can't account for. Sometimes good athletes make good plays, and there's nothing you can do.
Max Sovereign back in at the quarterback position for the West from Traverse City Central High School, and will be attending Duke next year. He has trips to his right. He's going to set up a screen. Najee Miller with a nice grab at the 25. Sandwiched at the 31. Now that's athleticism right there, and a pickup of 7. Probably felt like 17 to him, though.
Well, there's more direction here than in the loop in Chicago. Cars going everywhere. You've seen bodies going everywhere. Fake right, fake left. They drag the receivers underneath, and they leak Miller out into the right flat for a one-man screen. You can see how the game plan coming in. They knew, talking to coach, that this Miller's a stud for them. They really like him. They think he's a football player, and they try to design some plays to get the ball in his hands in space, whether it's a middle screen or that play getting him into the flat, because they know he's a playmaker.
2nd down and 3. West All-Stars trailing by 10. And a timeout for the East. their second timeout of the second half with 9:13 remaining. And the West starting to feel a little bit more comfortable offensively. Give them some credit for finding something that works and sticking with it offensively. But really, it's their defense that has made the difference in this fourth quarter so far.
Really, in the second half, since the one big play, they've done a really good job of getting the ball back for their offense, giving more opportunities. But this game, as we know in high school football, it goes pretty fast. So they really, I think, going to almost become a four-down team here, needing 2 scores with 9 minutes remaining. They can ill afford to turn the ball back over to this East offense. So time to get creative. And right now you have someone on the sidelines. How many trick plays have we used? How many runs? How many passes? Which plays haven't we used? Your playbook is pretty short. And right now the defense has seen pretty much everything you've done. And you say, I got 2 trick plays I can use yet. And I don't have to, when you can use them. But, man, if you got one right now you think can get you 7 points, no better time to use it.
Miller the lone setback for Sovereign. He brings Weeks in motion. Miller gets the call. Looks like he's a little shy of the first down. 3rd down and short. Well, we talked with both coaches before today's broadcast, and we asked them about implementing the offense and defensive game plan. It can take a while for new verbiage and different scenarios as they look forward to a game like this. And yet what coaches on both sidelines told us was what surprised them or impressed them is more appropriate. The most is how quickly these kids picked up the offense and defensive schemes. I know it's limited, but still you only have a week to try and familiarize yourself with the verbiage.
And that's the most important thing, and that's why as a coach you have to simplify and get as generic as you can with the terminology. And you have to be able to translate it so the kids can translate it into what they already know, to past knowledge. So you're just really kind of replacing blue with red. But whatever it is to this young man, you have to make it so they all can understand it. And that's why these coaches have a challenge for the week, but it's also why they're here. They're outstanding coaches. They can get these kids to perform. And we've seen it here today, some really quality performances.
Well, you know what I've noticed most about these coaching staffs is what good communicators they are with their kids, with us.
Well, yeah, we talk to them, you see the same type of quality.
Mm-hmm. So it's 3rd down and short.
And who's more excited, do you think, to be here? I think the coaches more than the players sometimes.
I don't know. You and I are right up there on that total poll. Tyler Havens is the fullback. Won't be surprised if he gets a call here, and he does. And he'll feel his way for a 1st down and more. Look at him carry would-be tacklers all the way to midfield. He's still going inside the 45. He is being tugged at by Ramadan Ahmedi, who just pulled his fullback into East All-Star territory.
This is a nice job, but Ramadan better be careful because you cannot pull a run. You can block and push the pile, but you can see, you called the play, Shep. It's just a little dive inside, able to get Havens the ball, and then he just keeps rolling. Now, see 77 starting to pull on him. You can't do that, but no call.
Boy, Ahmedi is a massive piece of humanity. 6'6", 290 from Waverly High School, and he'll be playing for Dan Enos here at Central Michigan. 1st and 10. Sovereign, all kinds of time. Dumps it underneath. He might have thrown that through the hands of Miller on purpose because he gets nowhere after a completion there.
I'd like to see in the playbook what they have for possible pass plays. Now, do you know, Matt, they're allowed so many different pass plays, but are they pass plays with both teams have to use, or can they diagram their own? I wonder how that works.
They can diagram their own. They have 10 pass plays, 5 drop back, 2 sprint outs. They have a few play action plays that they can run.
With the coverage, we're seeing a lot of man in the safeties play. It seems to me like you could just run your wideouts off and then run your 2 slots on each side down about 12, 14 yards into the sideline. That's very difficult to cover.
2nd down and 10. I like the way Max Sovereign runs this offense. Very calm and cool. A toss to Miller. Had a seam. Instead, he pushed it to the outside, and the East did a good job of dropping him for a loss.
That's a situation where Miller has to realize not every play is a touchdown. Some plays are 3 yards, and that's what is there, and that's what you need to take. He tried to make something out of nothing that time, kept bouncing to the edge, but as we've said over and over throughout this game, these defenses pursue so fast, sideline to sideline, it's difficult to go east and west. You got to find that seam, get into it, get to 3 yards, and live to fight another day.
So it's a -6 on that play, and that hurts because now it's 3rd down and 16. You know, just like a quarterback, you've always taught us, it's not a bad throw to throw an incompletion. For a running back, sometimes it's not bad to just get back to line of scrimmage.
Absolutely, or get a 2-yard gain. Can be a really good play. I mean, there was a couple yards available there, so you might be looking at a 3rd and 8 instead of a 3rd and 15. Now here's a double slot formation. I just think if you can run the outside guys off and then just run these guys on outs in the slot, I think there's something there.
Sovereign will throw.
It seems like they're just
down the middle of the field.
They're just bunching everything to the middle.
Capon tried to break loose. He was open for a moment. And that will force the West into a punting situation with time running out on him. 8 minutes to go or so in this 31st annual Michigan High School All-Star Game. First time it's here at Central Michigan, and what great hosts this university and the Chippewa football program has been to these folks. The beauty is that despite the inclement weather during the week, they were able to practice indoors in that beautiful indoor football facility that is on campus here. It was built a couple of years ago. Left-footed punt. Carithers drifting. He'll let it roll into the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20.
It has changed a lot. I brought my father with me today, and he was commenting he was here like 35 years ago, but it didn't look like this. I think the stadium at that time sat about 18 or 19,000. They obviously have, completed the one end. They've increased the size of the bleachers, and the press box, beautiful. I mean, you come in here, this is a state-of-the-art, big Division I type of press box. Their weight room, their inside turf room, the whole complex just says to me, and to a recruit, come here.
Well,
this is where you want to be. And there's a look at the press box, great camera shot there.
Yeah, we call Lions preseason football. And
punch me in the arm.
We saw the we saw the weight room. The weight room here is as big as the weight room at the Allen Park facility.
Yes.
Tommy Vento, the quarterback from Harrison High School, sprinting to the right and dragged down on a nice play.
Tommy Vento keeps the ball on a scramble.
John White made the tackle. John White from Jackson High School. Very athletic, hard-hitting linebacker who had 219 tackles in his career at Jackson High School.
Who's a famous Jackson High graduate? Former coach in the NFL, Super Bowl champion. Tony Dungy.
Yeah, played at the University of Minnesota.
Gopher, yeah. Good job. I played with his younger brother, Lyndon, at Grand
Did you
Valley.
really?
Yeah. He was not Tony. I love Lyndon, smart. Academically, he became a doctor, not a football player.
2nd down and 9. Tony Dungy, an inspirational speaker as well. Vento completes the pass to Ben McCord. That's a Michigan State future quarterback to a Central Michigan future wide receiver on that pitch and catch. Pickup of a few. Pushed out of bounds at the 25. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Look at the helmet there. It kind of had like the flying C from the Chips wear.
Yep. Numbers on Tommy Vento for the afternoon. That interception came in the first quarter, picked off by Dalton Stenberg. Each team has had 1 turnover so far.
He's recovering a fumble deep in the red zone, right? Remember that? That's after the interception.
Vento fires, and it's caught by Shane Van Fletteren, enough for a 1st down. He has quietly had himself a really solid ball game.
Made some plays when they needed to be made. Nothing flashy. But that's all you ask. You need players. And that's the thing you need to understand about football. I've always believed there's 22 guys that are on the field at a time. 18 of their job is not to lose the game. There's 3 or 4 that every time have to make the plays and be the playmakers and win the game. If you can go out there and perform and do your job, you don't have to do more or less, you'll give your team a chance to win.
But it's not the same guy. There's an illegal motion on the part of the East All-Stars. But it's not the same 18 guys every time. You're talking about different plays.
But you still... you still have a pool that you're going to look each week that you're going to pull from these 4 or 5 guys that need to be the playmakers. So let's take a look at the center right in the middle of your screen. Oh, no, I'm not going to snap it. Oh, no, just fooling.
He gets the big
But once you
moving.
bring that hand back, you're making a promise that the ball will leave your hand. You don't get to put it back down. It'd be a great weapon if you could.
It'd be the ultimate fake, wouldn't it?
Come on.
First down and 15. Quick sling out to McCord. Stiff arms his way to the 34-yard line. Now, if you're the East, you want that clock to keep moving, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I was surprised he went a little flare pass to the tight end, get him in the flat. Like what I see with this young man, and we're going to get a look at him again here in the replay. Catches the ball in his hands. He had the one drop early on. Ball put right where it needs to be. Tough throw for a quarterback to lead the guy to the sideline as well as up the field at the same time. And that's a big body. It's only going to get bigger. These kids, they go away to college. We think they looked impressive now, seeing them down in the locker room prior to the game, walking around. And now you put another 20, 25 pounds of muscle on them. They become beast.
Yeah, it's not all from dorm food either, by the way. Vento with an inside give to Beydoun. Rabia Beydoun out of Fordson High School. 2,800 yards this past season, 31 touchdowns. And a school record at Fordson for yards and touchdowns in a season. And he's a guy that you get to know a little bit better, and really intense, competitive, and thankful to be in a situation like this.
It's a big thing to me, and it'll prove really who's the stronger side of the state, in my opinion at least. I mean, it means a lot. 88 guys are selected out of, I mean, how many thousand high school athletes that play in the state, and you know, it's just an honor to be here with the top 88 guys that are here. And it just makes everyone feel like more comfortable about themselves and where they stand in the sport. A lot of the guys that I played with are guys that I played with usually in a 7-on-7. I played with a few of them over at Ann Arbor in Michigan in the 7-on-7 there, a few of them in Alabama. Also, a lot of them I played with in the regular season and in the playoffs I seen. I mean, something about me is I do want to win. I hate losing. That's something that's always been about me, is I don't like to lose. So, of course, it does matter if I win or not. It's not that I'm going to be so bummed if I lose, but I'd love to win because I hate losing.
You told me Zach Novak gave you that quote once at Michigan. You're talking about, he said he likes to win, but he hates losing way more than he likes to win. And that's what that sounded like in that soundbite. Beydoun just does not tolerate it. And there's another turnover. I'm going to call it a turnover. That'll be the 4th one of the day. And a 3rd down and 5, they get a roughing the passer call on an incomplete pass. Would have had the ball back after the punt. So the score sheet will only show 1 turnover for the West, but that's the 4th one in my book if you count 3 change of possessions that they've missed out on due to penalties.
So that means another opportunity here for the East, who already lead by 10 with a little bit more than 6 minutes to go, and they attack the middle of the field on the ground, and a nice pickup. Rob Otto is on the West All-Star sideline, and they're starting to feel a little desperation, don't you think?
Yeah, the thing is, Shep, that they actually were feeling pretty good after that Tyler Havens 3rd down run where he just was dragging bodies, the fullback, and there was really a big boost of energy that, of course, came after they held the East, after they scored the touchdown to make it a 10-point game. But this long drive where they're just chewing up chunks of clock, and again, as Rob said, they're giving them the extra chances. All of a sudden, we're seeing a few more guys just not yelling and yelping here on the West sideline that we saw earlier.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Rob. Jamel Abrams able to hurdle his way for a 1st down. Abrams out of Marine City. Won a Division IV state championship in 07. He gets the call again. Flattened there. Loves to snowboard and ride horses, but he was ridden to the ground strong there, wasn't he?
Yeah, good job coming up and filling. That's by Colin Wilson, number 20, coming up and finishing the tackle. But the East is pretty content right now. I mean, yardage is a bonus here, but it's not turning the ball over, keeping that clock running now under 5.5. They just want to keep it rolling and let their defense, if they have to come back on the field, play well as they have the entire afternoon.
Abrams, a 4-year starter, both sides of the ball at Marine City. It's a lot of snaps.
Good program, too. Yeah, they're a perennial playoff team over on the east side, south of Port Huron.
Tommy Vento, who helped Harrison win their 13th state championship, most in school history. Slings it out to the right side. Terrell Porter able to pick up a big chunk, but more importantly, to your point, partner, as we crawl under 5 minutes, stay in bounds.
Yeah, and he does a good job. And what I see with Porter here is when he catches this ball, very decisive. Watch him. Once he goes, he puts the head down. He's getting north and south, little shallow cups, keep the hips swiveling, but no stutter stepping. Don't trying to make everyone miss. He saw what was there and used the big body and exploded through the hole.
3rd down and short. 4:35 remaining in the ball game. West trying to make a 4th quarter comeback, but it's been stalled by a roughing the passer play and some big first downs by the East All-Stars, including that one right there by the running of Tommy Vento.
Tommy Vento keeps the ball, drives forward across the 25 down to the 23-yard line.
Well, they run the quarterback keep off the zone read, and all this is, Matt, is we're going to look at the replay. He's going to fake it and ride the belly of the one back. He reads it, and then he just keeps it, tucks it, goes up front, follows the big fellas up front, makes the play. And I'm not sure we talked about him, but you sent Spencer Cairo, the center, and Brett Cook, left guard, Blake McGee, Brian Bell, number 77, James Wall, 78. We should be giving these fellas some love because they've had their handful.
Yeah, they've done a really good job.
Zetto and Hankins in there on the east side, along with Damon Knox and Lamonte Jackson. They've done a really good job of negating that front 4 of the West.
Cairo playing center from Rochester Adams, and he'll be going to Bowling Green. Tackle made by Desmond Morgan on that play. Pickup of 3, though. Morgan, 11 varsity letters at West Ottawa. Hockey, lacrosse, weightlifting, and football. And also a really smart kid, the National Honor Society member.
3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the game.
Any idea where he's going?
He's going to the University of Michigan. Play there. Excited about it. Brady Hoke making more inroads in the great state of Michigan. Mark D'Antonio the same. A lot of the college coaches, Dan Enos here at Central Michigan, the staff at Grand Valley have done a great job of keeping a lot of the homegrown talent in state. Vento, who will be playing at Michigan State, with an inside give. And that was Dewan Lewis.
Dewan Lewis, the ball carrier.
Well, the West is going to start burning a few of their timeouts. They have 3 remaining. They're going to use their first one.
Stenberg in on the tackle along with Brad Horling. Loss of a yard on the play.
Not much you can say to your defensive unit right now, is there? I mean, you're hoping that they stop them, but
Timeout West.
You're trying to force a turnover.
Yeah, you're going to tackle the ball a little bit in this situation. I think the East will be content just to, take what's there. And I'm not sure you'll see a field goal attempt, though. The thing about a field goal attempt is it's high risk for the reward. For a possible 3 points, you risk getting it blocked and returned the other way. Then that would be a game changer. I think I got 2 downs to pick up 8 yards. I look in my playbook and figure out what I could use right here.
Yep. And I like that they've used Porter in the passing game, the tailback, but they've also used Abrams and Lewis, their fullbacks, who are usually sure-handed, to try and get some of those tough yards as well. Under 3 minutes to go in this 31st annual All-Star game. Now a flag on the play. Illegal substitution on the part of the East. They broke the huddle with too many men.
It's going to cost the East 5 yards. Push the ball back to the 25-yard line.
So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 13 now for the East All-Stars, who have 3 touchdowns from quarterback Keith Moore today. 2 of those going to Jason Wilson, one of 60 and 68 yards. And another to Ray Tillman of 50 yards. Tommy Vento out of the gun. Pump fakes, floats it for Wilson, and it is incomplete. He was double teamed.
Pass intended for Jason Wilson. Broken up.
So with 2:51 remaining, now let's see what the East chooses to do.
A little bit different look here with Jason Wilson, the wide receiver they went to that time. We've seen him streaking down the field. This time he's gonna play possum a little bit. He's out to your left, and then they're just gonna let him release. But what he does, Matt, you couldn't see it on the look there, but he stands up on the snap ball. He just stood there like he was watching a running play for about a second and a half, and then he took off and went down the field, tried to lull the defense into thinking that it was just going to be a run and get behind him, but the West defense was ready.
East has chewed up over 5 minutes of the Kelly Short Stadium clock on this drive. Vento rolling, looking. Wilson has broken free. He looks for him, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Chris Leno.
Well, Tommy Vento was looking to throw the ball to the middle of the field. Leno was on the deep corner in coverage, and when he saw Vento looking back to the middle, he just left his man in the corner and sagged back into the middle of the field and was able to pick it off. We're going to get a look as he rolls out. Get ready. He's still going. All right, stop it right here. If we can stop it here. Here. Oh, you see him right there. That's a look at where Leno is. And now he lets the ball. He's looking back to the middle, and see Leno just leave the receiver. He guessed. If they come back to the corner, he might be burned, but he read the quarterback's eyes. When he saw Vento looking back to the middle of the field, he left as well, left his receiver, and was able to get the interception.
He left Fabry to almost double-team Wilson and guessed appropriately and had the interception. Now the West with Max Sovereign going deep and stretching out and almost coming up with an incredible catch was Mike Weeks. Just to put a bow on that interception by Leno. He's going to Michigan State. He picked off his future Michigan State teammate in Tommy Vento, and Leno also had a school record 9 picks 2 years ago out of Portage Northern. 2nd down and 10. There's Weeks' day so far.
Yeah. So what do you think of this venue, Matt? We were at Michigan State last year. I really like it. I think it's a little bit more intimate setting. I think it's good for the city of Mount Pleasant, which, you know, during the summertime things get a little bit slow here. And it's good for the kids. Access, as you said, we had easy access as well. I really like it. I think it's a beautiful stadium, nice press box.
It's a good place for folks to get an opportunity to watch the game. They're close to the action, no question about it.
Yeah, and I think it really benefits the West too as well, because, you know, we talk about the West, but as I said earlier, the East team is comprised of metropolitan Detroit. You know, up far north is Lake Orion, down to Dearborn, Farmington, and so forth, and a little bit south. The rest of the state is on the West team. So the whole Mitten, as well as the UP. Now the UP has their own all-star game today, and that's why we're not seeing any Upers in this game. But they come from all over, and Central's located centrally, and that's the beauty of it. Everyone can get here within a couple-hour drive.
3rd down and 10 now for Max Sovereign. And he and Capon not on the same page. Capon broke in, and Sovereign threw out. Rob, what are these two teams playing for, and who will get the opportunity to take away that good-looking hardware?
Well, that is the hardware they're playing for. I'm back with Gus Kapolka, the All-Star Director. Tell us about this trophy and who it's named after, Gus.
Yeah, this is the Don Lesnar Memorial Trophy. It's named after our longtime Executive Director, Don Lesnar, who lost his battle with cancer about 3 years ago.
And you were saying how heavy this is. This is back when they used metal to make these trophies.
Oh yeah, this is wood and metal. I mean, this isn't plastic, so it's got some heft to it.
It's hefty. It's worth carrying it around, and the East team's trying to hold on to win it, Shep.
All right, Rob, thank you very much. You should talk with Nick Lidstrom and figure out how to carry those heavy trophies, since Lidstrom's used to carrying that 35-pound Stanley Cup. Anjay Miller running out of real estate, running out of room, and finally running out of time. Firuz Yakubi dragged him down near the 5-yard line.
Well, you know, usually I get on players who are trying to make something out of nothing. But when it's 4th down and 10 and you're running a little handoff to the right side and there's nothing there, you got to try to, you know, ad-lib. And that's what we saw Miller do on that last play. He tried cutting back. But once again, as we've said here all day, and it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, there's just too much speed in this game for some of these athletes who are used to being able to use their speed to make things when nothing is there. But there's just too many guys that can run well.
So now the East can just take a knee. And Keith Moore, although the West will burn a timeout here. .2:15 remaining.
Well, we'll head back north to God's Country Shep after the game, do some perch fishing tomorrow. You coming with me or not?
I would love to, partner, but I'm going to head back to Metro Detroit, I think, and fish my way through some busier traffic, I suppose.
Yeah. No, it was a beautiful ride coming down here today, and it was nice as the weather broke. I know the weather's been in Detroit, but it's been miserable for the last 4 days up north. We've had 60 degrees and rainy and drizzly, so I'm looking forward to getting out on the lake and doing some water sports.
Well, northern Michigan is just simply gorgeous. I think it's one of the untapped jewels of this state that not many people who are maybe don't know much about this great state of ours don't understand what's at their access and what they have the capability of experiencing with northern Michigan, whether it be golf, fishing, hunting, whatever the case may be. It's I know you take advantage of it every single year. There's some kids right there who dream one day of playing at this venue and playing in this type of event. Not many get the opportunity. 88, that's it. Only 88 kids were chosen to be part of this wonderful event at this fine facility, including Keith Moore, who will take as much time as he possibly can before trying to close this one out for the East. Moore with 3 touchdown passes. Hands off to Baydoun, sprints to the outside, wants the corner, and he got the corner. Touchdown.
Rabia Baydoun was able to use his speed and get to the edge. I mean, this is nothing. There's no running it up here. This is just an outside handoff, pretty simple. But right here is showing why he is in this game. Hasn't been able to really highlight his talents much here today. We saw a little interview earlier. Very articulate, very bright young man, and also a pretty good running back, as we saw right there.
Now he'll be running back for your alma mater, Grand Valley State University.
He's going to have a lot of competition there. I went to their spring game this year. They are running back thick.
Low snap, and it looked like a defensive player got a hand on it, but it was able to squeeze through the left upright. 30-13, the East in front now with 1:20 remaining. So Baydoun will head to the Division II powerhouse, feeling good. That Grand Valley program doesn't skip a beat, does it? I see that they also won the best Division II program overall because they are a team that had so many championships and played in so many postseason. I think of their 17 varsity programs, I think 13 of them played in postseason action.
Very good. Doing the research, they also were the first team at any collegiate level to win the indoor, the cross country, and the outdoor seasons in track and field this year.
That's right. For the women's.
For the women's side. And the men also won a national championship, I believe, on the men's side.
It's pretty impressive.
It is. But it's, if you go there, it's a beautiful campus, nice facilities outside of Grand Rapids, a nice city. It's you got to believe you can recruit when you're a Grand Valley State coach. Salt Lake Central has here. You're in farmland a little bit, but if you like getting back to nature, you like the simple life, Mount Pleasant is a place to be because it is a pretty area, and their facilities we talked about earlier are absolutely phenomenal here. Rob, do you agree with my take on Chippewa country here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, I do. It is beautiful to be here in Mount Pleasant. Also going to be beautiful for this young man because Mount Pleasant's a place he's going to remember that his team locked up the East-West All-Star game. This is Blake McGee, offensive lineman for the East squad. Hold on. We'll talk to you in just a second, Blake. I'm sorry. I thought they were throwing. Oh. Here we go, Blake, right here. I know you don't want to ignore that, but all right.
Temper's flaring a little bit.
All right, here we are. This is Blake McGee. That's the young man I was talking about going to Saginaw Valley State U. And you coming off with a nice performance today. Rob Rubick was talking about how good the offensive line did. You guys were in the trenches there, and when it was tight, you guys made sure to grind that clock out. How'd you guys do that here in the fourth quarter?
Just practice and work hard. That's what we'll be doing all week, and that's the outcome. When you practice hard, good things happen.
And you know that coming off the MHSA championship for Lake Orion this year.
Yes, sir. That was a lot of fun. We practiced hard.
just as hard as we did now and have fun with it, and then good things happen.
And good things have happened for you. Hopefully good things continue to happen in your college career, Blake.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is a bright young man, Rob Rubick, and that offensive line really did a number in the second half to take this game over. Thanks, man.
Yeah, the Dragons' first ever state football championship, but Blake McGee was also a two-time state championship powerlifting team as well in 2009 and 2010. Max Sovereign engulfed at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, getting back to Blake McGee, he was on that Lake Orion Dragon team that won the state championship, and I have to believe he was the biggest guy in that team because that was not a very physically big team Chris Bell put together this year that won the state championship in Division I, but a very competitive athletic team, and Big Blake going to Saginaw Valley to try to extend his football career and the success that he's had so far.
Could be the final play of the game. Capon, there's a flag on the play. Capon unable to get around.
They might.
Donnell Carithers. Carithers with a little pass interference there.
Well, you think so? They may get Capon. It looked like Carithers had inside position. Depends how he got that position, I guess. I kind of caught the play late, Matt. But I saw Capon just pulling and tugging on him, going through him to get to the ball. No, you called it.
Pass interference.
As I said, I just got the last tail end of the play.
Interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
So an automatic first down, and the ball would be placed at the 42-yard line of the West. 31 seconds remain in this 31st annual high school football all-star game. Glad you've been able to join us on this sunny afternoon that is slowly turning to evening. Sovereign maneuvering his way, and he's hogtied from behind. A nice tackle by Ferouz Yakubi. And they start to do the dance on the east sidelines. Bragging rights going to the east this year. Sovereign will spike it with 8 seconds left, and they'll have time for another play.
Second down, Father spikes the ball to stop the clock. 8 seconds remaining. 3rd and 8.
Well, disappointment on the west sidelines, but satisfaction from this standpoint that they have enjoyed the experiences of getting to know one another and seeing the talent that is on that sideline by Pete Skirmerhorn and the rest of his staff.
That's a great point. These kids 20 years from now, they're not going to remember as much if they won or lost this game. They're going to remember the game and the week of practice that led up to it and the friendships that they made. That maybe they become lifelong friendships. They end up going to the same university. They compete against these guys. They end up, someday maybe in the workforce with them. That's what's important. This is just, basically icing on the cake. The game itself. It's the week that counts.
Well, if that cake was lit, the East can blow out the candles because they are the champions of the 31st annual high school all-star game, 30-13. Respect earned, friendships made, and now on to another chapter in their football lives from here on out. If it's their last game that they've ever played, it's been a memorable one. If it's the game that pole vaults them into college football, it helps sharpen their skills a little bit. Keith Moore leads the East squad with 3 touchdown passes, and the East defeats the West in Mount Pleasant 30-13. Glad you could all join us for this 31st annual Michigan High School All-Star Game. Couldn't do it without our sponsors, though, on this Saturday afternoon. Our thanks to them for making this all possible.
Participants in the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association All-Star Football Game have been nominated by their coaches and selected by a committee of the MHSFCA. Information at MHSFCA.com. The 31st Michigan High School Football All-Star Game is made possible by the UAW Center for Human Resources and General Motors. Meyer, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Sound Productions, and by these great sponsors. At MHSFCA.com, you can find information on scholarships, leadership awards, Hall of Fame membership, eligibility and recruiting information, and the Michigan High School football records. While you're there, check out the Hall of Fame with bios of past All-Stars. Information is also available for the 2012 Annual Professional Clinic held in Kalamazoo, January 19th through 21st. It's all at MHSFCA.com.
This has been a presentation of Detroit Public Television.